Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to Left Side, Strong Side. I'm your host, Chance Ellison, joined by my co-host, Mike Deacon, and this is the show where we break down all the goings-on of the football season. Week 9. This is halfway point of the season. We are halfway through.
Right.
Kind of wild.
It's gone by so fast. This season just feels like it's been a blink of an eye, honestly. But this week, a couple of surprises, some things that you'd expect, and I think we're in for a pretty wild ride going through the second half of the season now.
Absolutely, especially seeing how some teams are faring in the overall standing. But we're not here by ourselves this time. We actually do have a guest lined up. This dude, he's someone who reached out to me personally and just how much you like the show. I'm like, hey, come on, man. I know you're a football guy. He's in our fantasy league. I was happy to have this guy on. It is Mark the Moose Haas. Mark, thank you for joining us tonight, man.
Fellas, thank you so much for having me. This is gonna be so much fun, dude. Your show's so fucking funny. Your clips are the best, Chance. Like I can't help but laugh out loud when I watch them. So, fuck yeah, I'm excited to have to be on the show. Thank you guys for having me.
Yes, but actually, you are not alone on this episode, Mark. We actually do have another guest we didn't advertise, and in case we didn't advertise it, I'm gonna give y'all a hint as to who this is. I come from a land. That's right, Jacob London is back once again.
Hi.
I was delighted to bring you back this week, but we'll get into all that reasoning later. First of which, Haas, this is your first time on the show, so I do want to ask you real quick. We like to ask this for all our first time guests. Who is your football team?
I am a Rams fan.
Ouch.
Yes.
This week especially. Ouch. We'll get there.
Rough year to be a Rams fan. We're still in Super Bowl hangover.
Oh God, yes.
Season, so
understand.
Oh Lord, yes. Lord Almighty, yes.
Shoot, I've been in California for so long, and I'm old enough to say that I went to Rams games when they used to play at Angel Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Rams have always been a Haas household staple.
All right, on man. Okay. But yeah, we're gonna break down all the games this week. Let's get into it first. With Thursday Night Football, we got the Eagles versus the Texans. A game we all thought would be incredibly ugly. Started off surprisingly competitive. Not sure if it's the short week. I'm not sure if it's Houston playing like they had nothing to lose, but they were tied at the end of the first half, and I was shocked.
Well, I think in this one, this is definitely a case of Houston came out with adrenaline. They 100% came out. They did not have Brandon Cooks in the lineup. They had a couple of guys at wide receiver looking to prove themselves. They had nothing to lose, and they threw everything they had. Unfortunately, they just kind of ran out of gas. And the second half was another story. But the beginning of that game, Houston they really came out like a team possessed and played really well. And the Eagles did come out a little bit flat-footed. Things corrected, though, once we got to the third quarter.
Oh, yeah.
This was the Batman versus Superman Dawn of Justice moment where Bruce Wayne hits Superman with the kryptonite grenade, and he's weakened. And he then is beating him up, and then all of a sudden Superman shakes off the effects, and then he's hitting him, and he's like, "Oh shit, we're in trouble." That's exactly how Houston felt in this game. The first half, halftime, they were probably fired up. They came out, they were playing like they had nothing to lose, and then the second half, the Eagles were like, "Oh wait,
wait a minute, we're Philadelphia."
Yeah.
I think the Phillies being in the World Series also had an impact. I think it was a World Series game that night. I reckon a lot of those players kind of were in the whole because at that point they win that game in Philly, they win the series. They were
they go up 3.
Sorry, I know, but they win that game. They very likely are winning the series because it's 3-1 instead of 2-2. So that was a huge and important game for Philly, and I think that's kind of where everyone's mindset was we don't really want to be playing football tonight. We kind of want to be watching the World Series. I think that was the mindset of everyone in Philadelphia. And yeah, I kind of understand it.
Isn't it wild though? Who would have thought when this schedule came out, when you saw this game, that the World Series was going to be Houston against Philadelphia, and they were going to be playing at the same time on Thursday Night Football? Yeah.
Only difference is the talent disparity in football is very different from the one in baseball.
Quite a bit different, yeah.
I will give credit though to Damian Pierce, Houston running back. That dude is a stud in the making.
Yeah. They can build their team around him right now. They have a definite cornerstone of their offense, which they desperately need.
They learned two things that night. One, Damian Pierce is the real deal. Second, General Mills is not the guy.
Yeah, that's 100% true. The second half, he imploded.
Yep.
But the tank is still. Houston fans, it's okay. The tank is still intact. I repeat,
They're
the
number
tank
one
is still intact.
They're now number one. So
yeah, because of the way the rest of the weekend shook out currently.
They're likely going to have 2 top 10 picks. Likely.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
That's not too bad for it. Like Texans, I'm not too worried about. There's a couple of teams I'm worried about going forward.
I'm more concerned about the Eagles because they might also a top 10 pick, but it's not theirs.
Yeah,
the Eagles could come out like
the Saints
roses
one, right? I was going to say they just gave up the 49ers one, but yeah, no, the Saints one. Yeah, definitely.
You definitely took my 2 points away from what I wrote down for the Texans. I wrote down Damian Pierce because absolutely, I agree 100% with everything you guys are saying. That's your future right there. Mm-hmm. And then next to Mills, I wrote he's balls. So I agree with you guys 100%.
No,
in this assessment, yeah,
it's not incorrect. Like it's just I'm surprised with the guy with a neck that long. He has like such shit visibility across the field.
So here's the question I want to bring up right now to all three of you. After watching these games, obviously the Eagles they've done everything that's been asked of them. Their schedule hasn't been extremely difficult. What team is the team to end the undefeated season, if any?
Looking at their schedule, if it's any, I would bet on the Titans because if Damian Pierce could do this to them, I'm concerned about Derrick Henry.
I've got it's the Cowboys. I think
that's who I was going to say as well. As much as I hate to say it,
massive for it. The Titans, the Titans are legit. If I'm more worried about Tannehill, if he's not back, because we're
going to get there.
We'll get there.
We'll get to that one, but woof. Like that Cowboys game's I think a big one. I think the Giants game as well because Barkley running on them like they Saquon.
Yeah, like if they really want to shore up the team, they really need to just solidify that run defense.
The run defense. Yep.
That right now that's maybe their biggest flaw.
They got a really good secondary, very good secondary.
Secondary is fantastic, but the run defense needs to step it up.
And look, everyone will talk about it later, but that Bears game could be very interesting. They, from more of a they're looking ahead at the Cowboys game because of how big that one is. They may have just gotten away with one in the Giants game the week before. The Bears aren't a great team. Hey, let's overlook this because of the Cowboys game, and suddenly, oh shit, they're down and they haven't built their way out. Like that's one that I could see being a bit of a trap game for them.
I concur.
Yep, agreed.
Yeah, so moving on from that one. Yeah, Eagles move on to 8-0, still the only undefeated team in the entire NFL currently. Yeah. Moving on to our Sunday slate. First of all, let's talk about the Chargers versus the Falcons. Now, we'll give the Falcons credit. They did not wait till the fourth quarter to blow their lead. They did it right away. Right away. 10-0. Gone.
So here's the question with this game. Like Chance and I last week, we did both pick the Falcons. We both had them, and they almost had it till they put up a fight, and then obviously what happened. But that's not really where my concern is in this game because the Falcons are and always have been this season overproduced. They've been overproductive. They've exceeded expectations. The Chargers. That's where the real question is right now.
That's my concern.
Yep.
Look, okay, as someone who is like a secondhand Chargers fan because they're Taylor's team and she'll scream and yell at me about everything. I know a little bit about this team. Look, they are extremely banged up. Like outside of the 49ers, they're probably the most injured team right now.
They're down their top two receivers, and Herbert is not even close to 100%.
No, Herbert's still dealing with that injury. They're missing he's throwing to high school kids. Like seriously, like these guys aren't these guys aren't NFL wide receivers. They're not that level. Like, you know, we're gonna get to it later, but my God, like there's players who are complaining about their wide receivers, and if they had what Herbert was, they'd quit football. Like,
well, Josh Palmer's done well for himself. I'm not going to discredit, but he's not a number one. He's not a number one. He's a great number two. And when you eventually have Keenan, Mike Williams, and Joshua Palmer, that's one hell of a trio.
Yeah.
However, having Joshua Palmer as your one when you're playing a team better than the Falcons is going to be a difficult situation. If you have him going against like Sauce, what's going to happen?
That's kind of where I'm at. Like, this is a win. A win's a win. I'll take the win. You know, the Falcons, you're right. They've been overperforming. I think every game but one, they've covered the spread.
Yeah.
Like
they're not the one game. That's it.
Yeah, I think there's one game they haven't. So like they're an overachieving team, and I think every single team in the NFC is pulling for them to make the playoffs because they don't want to face Tom Brady and the Bucs. But yeah.
Not only that, too, you got the Falcons, who are clearly a team that might be looking for potentially a quarterback to be determined. So a lot of teams are rooting for them to win, so they could just go further down the draft, draft order. So that's going to help out a lot of these lower teams because, being realistic, the other teams in the division, Tampa Bay's a mess, but they are what they are. But the New Orleans and I'm drawing a blank because I'm an idiot. Carolina. So all of them want Atlanta to do better because it's going to increase their chances of getting their quarterback in the future.
Yeah. And the thing about this game was it was surprisingly competitive. I mean, they burst out to an early lead, blew it. Chargers came back, but the Falcons were able to hold serve. It wasn't until a miraculous play came along that undid the Falcons. It's right here.
Candy goes in motion. There it is. That's the run play. Inside the 20.
You either die a hero,
Falcons say Eckler was not ruled down. Ball comes loose again.
or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
I don't know what happened. There was nobody near him.
He saw Herbert running towards him, and the fear of God was put
from
in
Herbert.
From Justin Herbert.
Yeah, he sees 200-pound Justin Herbert all banged up, sprinting towards him, and he's like,
"Cannot make a tackle right now."
Butterfingers right then and there. Yeah, I saw that play live, and
we were watching it live. Taylor was stressing, and we were watching that live. And when that happened, when the first fumble happened, she nearly cried. And then when he dropped it again, we were just like, okay, there's no way this is a fumble. There's no way that the Eckler's one's a fumble because they just overturned the previous one, the one where he put his knee down earlier, which I'm still not 100% sure, but whatever. And then that game.
So if you're Justin Herbert and that guy fumbles at the thought of you running over, do you walk over and are you like, yeah, that's right, bitch?
Yes, absolutely.
A little bit.
You just walk up and like, yeah, that's right, then walk away. Ouch!
It's as a guy who has had multiple injuries in my life, every bone aches when I watch the Chargers play. You just feel the injury vibrating off of this team when you watch it. It's terrible.
Every year we had that one team that just battered to shit. 2020 was the Niners, 2021 was the Ravens. This year it might be the Chargers.
It is. I mean, I don't think there's any ifs, ands, or buts. It's the Chargers. Yeah.
And the Chargers do have they have stuff going for them. I mean, a healthy Chargers team is very potentially a scary, team in the NFL. Absolutely. I mean,
top 5 offense.
The
sad part about the Chargers is I'm not a Staley guy. I'm not 100% convinced he's their coach of the future.
Mm-hmm.
But and I said at the start of the season, they have to make the playoffs or Staley's gone. They have to make the playoffs or he's gone. They're so injury prone. It's almost unfair. But if you almost
have to give him a pass for this season.
You almost do. But then if you've got a guy if Peyton wants that job, which from reports he does.
That sounds like it is the case.
I don't know how you say no to Peyton. I really don't. And you're gonna you're not going to be giving up much to get for the Saints.
Okay, so we'll compromise. Instead of getting Sean Payton, you fire your OC and hire Kevin James.
We can talk about that later, but I want them to hire Frank Reich as OC.
Okay, we'll get there.
Oh, Frank Reich.
Yeah, so that's it for that game right there. Up next, we got the Dolphins versus the Bears. This is a game that we thought was going to be an absolute blowout. Holy shit, we were wrong because my God,
fun game to watch. Tell you what,
I want to retire that suicide shuffle clip I had from the Bears.
It might be time. Like Justin Fields, wow. Did he just have a breakout game? If there ever was a breakout game, that was it.
Justin Fields now holds the record for the most rushing yards by a QB in a game in the regular season.
Correct.
Like postseason, Kaepernick's allowed the title.
Kaepernick
Regular season,
5 yards, I think.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's close. But wow, Justin Fields was unstoppable, and even when he threw the ball, which was not a ton, but even when he threw the ball, he was moving the ball down the field at will, getting chunk plays every time. If they had just started a little bit stronger, because they started, a little flat-footed in the first quarter, and the Dolphins did take a little bit of a lead. If the Bears had just gotten off to a little bit faster of a start, they would have been in that game the whole way.
You know what's scary is the Bears have scored 96 points in the last 3 games.
Yep.
That's scary. But what worries me the most is obviously Justin Fields is a star. What worries me the most is the rest of it is not there. Are they going to burn this kid out? Is this kid going to get injured? Like, it's crazy how much of that offense is dependent on him.
I'm going to give the Bears a pass for this season because they've got the biggest cap space out of anyone going for next year. They've got a ton of picks.
After the trades, a ton of them.
They've got a ton of picks. All right. The next 9 weeks or 8 weeks left for
9
now.
Halfway.
The next 9 weeks for the Bears, you have one question and one question only. Is Fields the guy? Is Fields your quarterback going forward? You need to be doing everything you can to fully analyze this kid and go, all right, we know he can run. How is he throwing? You need to figure it all out.
Especially because this week, you had the team that is doing that with their QB.
Yeah.
Like Tua with this offense is just emerging. Like this is the best he's looked at the NFL level, and it's not even close.
He's arguably got probably the best wide receiving duo in the league by far. 100%. Tyreek and Waddle. Those guys.
I'm not as high on Tua as everyone else. Like, I'm really not that high on Tua. But this year he's playing very well. I think he's a slightly better Jimmy G. I think. No, sorry, I do. I think you put okay.
How many times Tua step out of the end zone?
Sorry, people having the who's better, Herbert or Tua conversation. Yeah, swap quarterbacks. Okay. Let's see how Tua goes in that Chargers team right now. He doesn't win that game yesterday.
That's a fair way to put it.
That's a fair way to put it. I mean, I'm not saying he's better than Herbie, but I mean, Tua's still making a name for himself.
I know. There's the conversations coming back up about, is he the best quarterback from that draft? He's third.
Honestly, the best might be Jalen Hurts. We don't know.
I mean,
and knowing that obviously the two of them go back to their college days, the history of them in Alabama, it's crazy to see what Jalen has done. By comparison, now Jalen has been he has the argument. Obviously Tua and having Tyreek and Waddle is something else, but he has AJ Brown, who he's so comfortable with, and he has Dallas Goedert, which obviously I think is a step above Gesicki, and he also has Devontae Smith. Jalen Hurts, though, has done already what Tua is only starting to scratch the surface of, and that's learning how to win games when it matters. He's taking games into his hands. I haven't seen Tua do that quite yet. However,
he's getting there.
That's what I was going to say. Is Tua is he's going in the right direction.
The Ravens game's the closest we've seen it. of him taking it. But that also was, holy crap, that defense was bad. Like that defense was bad.
But they've made some adjustments. I mean, we got a little ways to get to that game, but
the biggest thing for me takeaway from this game, if any player on the Dolphins is going to have an MVP conversation, it ain't Tua, it's Tyreek. Because damn,
Sure.
Tyreek currently, he's currently on pace to have a 2,000 yard season.
Yeah,
if he keeps it up,
could break the yardage and receiving and receptions record.
There is a chance he could do it in 16. If he does it in 16, that's going to be insane. Like the fact that he did it in the 3 games Tua wasn't playing as well is like he performed just as well. That's to me is the argument of like Tyreek's their MVP. If they're going to not give it to a quarterback this year, which again I don't think that's going to happen, but Tyreek's probably your best bet at this point.
When the last time we saw a non QB win MVP was it Adrian Peterson? I think it was the last time we saw it happen.
No, yeah, Peterson I think is the last one.
Right. So here's the crazy thing about Hill though, is that Hill in the past has done a lot of it yards after catch. This year, it's just he is catching everything. He's not necessarily breaking every play for another 20, 30 yards, but anything that comes near him, he's catching.
Yeah. Moving on to our next game, we got Battle of the Cats. We got the Panthers versus the Bengals. And I'm nostalgic for a time when we thought PJ Walker might have been actually pretty good. PJ Walker had, it's just funny record, he had less yards than he did pass attempts on the day. 10 attempts, 9 yards.
Yeah.
Things got so bad they went back to Baker Mayfield to start the second half.
Yeah.
And it's sounding like it's going to be Darnold this week, potentially.
Jesus.
Likely. Like, the Panthers right now are in full tank mode. They're just like, we don't care. I'm more annoyed about this game because I started Joe Burrow over Fields. And like I woke up and I saw the scores and I was like, oh, Joe Burrow must have had
there was a Joe who was scoring.
There's a Joe playing.
I looked at it and I went, how do you have that many? How do you have that many points and that few points in fantasy? Just because you weren't scoring.
Yep.
Joe's been that guy now for 4 or 5 years for the Bengals. Every year, my team used to be called the Mixon Exchange. Like Mixon is seriously like on another level. The dude is
Mr. Consistent.
Yes. I mean, that's exactly what it is. And yes, I fucking started Joe Burrow too. So I understand your pain, Jacob.
I also started Joe Burrow in a fantasy league.
It's tough. I mean, no pun intended. The Panthers are literally a bag of cats. I mean, it's
they have no identity. They're working with an interim head coach. They have no quarterback because all 3 options are like various degrees of bad.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're in for a tough rebuild. Like
exactly.
This isn't a this is. There's a few teams that have a I'm optimistic about the Bears. There's a few other teams I'm like that. I'm optimistic over the next 2 years that could kind of do what the Jets just did, where it's like the Jets and the Seahawks, where it's like, okay, you guys should suck, but you really hit in your draft, and you guys are you're looking really good.
Yeah,
the Panthers. They're gonna have to hit on everything if they're gonna even be close. And
the Texans and the Bears are the 2 teams that, like in a year or 2, could have that. I think that drastic turnaround. I agree with you on this. The Panthers. There's nothing screaming out at me on this team right now.
There's no rock to build your church.
There's Burns.
There's nothing there.
Yeah, Brian Burns.
I don't know what
good. I like J.C. Horn. Also, Derek Brown. Derek Brown, J.C. Horn, Brian Burns. That's literally all you have.
Yeah.
And DJ Moore.
DJ Moore's not. They didn't trade him.
He's decent.
DJ Moore is not going back to that team after this season.
They're going to trade him like draft night and get another first or something, I think.
Yeah.
There's going to be a new term in Carolina. It's going to be called pulling a McCaffrey. And it's just an exodus to try to get the fuck out.
Better than pulling an AB for Tampa.
Right.
That's the ultimate version of that. Moving on to our next game. This is one that, again, had a very good chance of being upset of the week, but it's the Packers versus the Lions.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me just. I gotta talk for a second here, because look, said it going into this week. Packers were on a 4-game losing streak. They lost to both New York teams, lost to the Commies, and lost to the Bills. Although the Bills kind of understand. Like, this is a team that was in desperate need of a get-right game.
Yep.
This was the get-right game.
Enter Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
How many points did the Packers score in this game?
9.
Detroit, perennial bottom feeder of the NFC North. Detroit, a team that boasts of the worst scoring defense in the entire NFL. Detroit, a team that has had 24 points or more put up on them every single week this season. You're the Packers. You have Aaron Rodgers, and you are coming in scoring 9 points.
What the hell is wrong with you people?
I don't understand what's going on in Green Bay. I really don't.
This
It's
game
a
made me
mess.
very happy.
Yes,
Me too.
Me
This
too.
one made me very happy.
Why?
It was the
Aaron
only-
Rodgers
okay.
is the biggest prick. Like,
This
After
one got me. This game got me through another game that we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
This one was the only thing that got me through it because I was so happy. I was so happy when this
Aaron
happened. I
Rodgers has lost the last 4
believe it.
games, and he has the audacity in
5.
his post
Lost
game
5.
Now it's 5.
4
Now
going
it's
into
5.
this game.
Four
right?
going in. Four
Now
going
it's
in.
5.
Yeah, and then he has the audacity in his post game interview to be like, "We shouldn't have lost to this team." It's like, fuck you! You got outplayed by Jared Goff. Like,
And Jared Goff did not even play well.
No, like,
Yeah,
you look at
and
the
he did,
third off,
but-
they didn't do anything special.
outplayed. Yeah, he outplayed
And
Aaron
the-
Rodgers.
and
Yeah. At
it
what
was
point?
Rodgers' fault. There's no
Yeah.
excuse.
There
He
is
just,
none.
like there
No.
not the excuses anymore.
No,
He
this
can't-
look, and I am a Rodgers fan, and I will say this loss is majority on Rodgers and LaFleur.
There was
I put a lot on the floor too.
Yes.
No, for sure.
One dropped pass, I think. One drop pass I recall out of this. That was a bad drop pass in this game from the
Yeah.
Green Bay receivers. There have been other games that they,
3 interceptions in
That's
the
what it
red
is.
zone.
Bad
Aiden
one.
Hutchinson's was ridiculous. Like the fact that was an interception. How was that an interception?
Like, it was
what
like
kind of terrible throw
a
was
show
that?
pass to David Bakhtiari. I'm like, what the hell is
Yeah.
happening here?
Now, obviously, you got to figure that LaFleur's number is on the chopping block potentially, right?
I
Do you
think so.
Do you think he pulls the Jordan Love card at some point? I mean, he's 5 games down with Rodgers, and arguably that could have been Rodgers.
I don't know,
probably worst
I
game
don't know.
ever played.
Here's the thing: I don't know putting in Jordan Love fixes everything.
I don't
No,
think it does, but these
We
coaches
saw him
who
last year.
are just
Okay,
in quicksand, they pull these cards sometimes, and they put these rookies in thinking like, okay, well, the old vet
He's
like
a third
Rodgers.
year.
yeah.
He's a third year.
Yeah.
Here is my Jordan Love.
No, that's true. Yeah.
Not theory, but they need to figure I don't think they're going to do it this week against the Cowboys. We'll talk about that later. I actually think this could be a trap game in the making. I think once they're officially eliminated, that's when you put in Jordan Love to be like, okay, we need to figure out what we've got with this kid because
Oh, I agree with that.
we're going to have to, because we're either going to have to trade him, we're going to have to cut him, or we're going to have to get ourselves, they're going to have a top 10 pick. What do you do with it? Are you grabbing another in a very good quarterback class?
That'd be
Are you
hilarious.
grabbing
It'd be
another
hilarious if they got another quarterback.
But like you don't know. Otherwise, what are you going to do in 2 years when Rodgers is done? Like,
And here's the catch. In 2 years when Rodgers is done, Jordan Love is not on his rookie contract.
He's not.
exactly. Well, not only that, you've got to make a decision at the end of this year. Are we extending him for another year? Are we giving him the 5th year option? So, like,
Mhm.
they don't know anything about this kid. Because also at the end of the year, I think maybe you would consider trading Rodgers.
I mean,
As-
yeah,
I think
there,
so
trying
too.
to-
there are going to be
That-
teams who are going to want Rodgers. Who are going to want Rodgers.
And that's the
That's
thing.
for
Like,
sure.
so you want to know what have we actually got in Jordan
agree.
Love, and I think that's. So I'm not saying you're doing it because he could win you games. I don't think that's why you're doing it. You're doing it because the season's lost.
Yeah.
We need data. We need to figure out what we've got with this kid. And that's where the future of the Packers goes.
You also, I think also the thing they need to do is like they need to just, for some reason, they just do not want to run the ball, which is weird. Because like Aaron Jones is like their best player right now.
I don't get it.
And Dylan's good too.
I don't. Yeah.
You've got really good tandem.
You've got two very talented running backs. You've got two running backs that teams would literally sell you their draft for right now.
Yeah.
Like someone like the Bills right now would sell their freaking draft for. Like, why aren't you using them? Yeah, the Rams. Like they're not using them, and I don't understand it. I was saying earlier how like Panthers have got a rough got a rough couple of years. Packers fans, you're in for a rough couple of years. Because these contracts
I agree.
are going to hurt for a while, and unless you can somehow sell them, like even Rodgers' contract, there might be a team desperate enough for it. But
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if the Colts will at this point. That will be their sixth.
We'll get in a second. But
It's
like
a Colts move to make.
But like it
is a very Colts move. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, like it's an expensive contract that is also going to come with a lot of dead cap space, even if you trade him. And and I'm pretty sure he has a trade clause, a no trade clause anyway. So
he
we might
he 100% does.
Yeah, of course he does.
So what do you do? Like the Packers are in trouble. The Packers are in for a long couple of years.
Like this, it's weird. With the Packers. Like every time you think you can't, every time you hit every time they rock bottom, goes even lower.
They keep digging.
Goes even lower.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's fun to watch.
It is.
I
oddly get.
I'm not gonna lie, it's
joy.
fun to watch.
I get
It's
joy
really
watching
fun.
the Packers lose, and I get even more joy out of Aaron Rodgers struggling.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yes.
It's right here, warms the chest. It's like a good scotch.
Speaking of fun to watch, a match that like 2 decades ago was like one of the greatest in the entire season is now reduced to this. We're talking about the Colts versus the Patriots.
Yeah.
The Colts have it rough. First quarter, they had a grand total of -2 yards on offense.
Yeah,
-2.
Atrocious.
Yes, atrocious. We found out very quickly, if we didn't already know, Sam Ellinger is not the guy.
No. Back 9 times. 9 times.
And like I saw this like this O-line used to be good, right?
And New England, they're still an above average defense, looked like a world beater in this game.
Did.
Yes.
They like the Colts made Mac Jones look good. Like Mac Jones got his get right game. And it was suddenly oh shit, okay. Mac Jones is now back. Apparently, like this was bad. This was really, really bad for the Colts.
Judon ran wild in this game.
Yeah.
Judon now the league's leading sacker.
Yeah, I understand why it was always coming, but Jesus, this was not good. This was not.
Yeah, this was a giant showcase for Indiana. Indianapolis's offensive ineptitude.
And they've already won 3 games. And in this year's NFL, which is a god-awful disparity of good versus bad teams, 3 wins, unfortunately, might put them either out of the top 10. Might put them either at the back end of the top 10 or even out of the top 10 in terms of draft picks, which is wild.
Which is crazy. But yeah, the Indianapolis Colts got their asses thoroughly handed to them. And as a result, head coach Frank Reich was fired that Monday.
I called it.
Get the fuck out of here!
I'm a little shocked that they did it this early.
I am too. Well, I'm trying to did it now just because, like Frank Reich led teams don't notoriously like catch their stride in the second half of the season.
I'm a little shocked that hey, we're going to do it the week after the trade deadline. If you're going to fire a coach, fire him before the trade deadline so you can at least sell your stock. Like, I don't understand doing it a week after. It makes no sense.
For the matter, he is still contracted with the team up until 2026.
Yeah, he's getting paid.
That might be the reason. That might be the same. That might be the reason that the same as the Matt Rule reason of, hey, we're desperate for you to go get a head coach job somewhere else, so we don't have to pay this.
But it's not. The crazy thing about this wasn't that he was fired. Crazy is that what came out after, because several hours.
That was crazy. Yeah,
several hours after his firing, we got word of the interim head coach. It was going, and the interim head coach for the Colts rest of the season is going to be Jeff Saturday.
What?
Yes, former 6-time Pro Bowl center Jeff Saturday, a guy who with no professional coaching experience, not even a collegiate coaching experience, who spent the better part of the last couple of years being an analyst for ESPN.
This is
the good one.
I like Jeff Saturday. Don't get me wrong. Like I like Jeff Saturday. Like he's one of the best offensive linemen in the past decade. He really was. Yeah. But you're giving this guy just a head coaching guy, like not an offensive coordinator, not an offensive line coach, head coach.
I would, because I'm trying to see who else is on this staff. I'm positive people with like head coach experience on the staff.
There has to be somebody, at least who is at least a coordinator, if nothing else.
In a staff that includes John Fox and Gus Bradley, you just went out of your way to get Jeff Saturday to head coach your team.
I mean, the Colts are so bad this year. What's the owner, Jim Irsay, right? At this point, I think he's just taking on bets. Like with other owners, he's like, dude, how badly can I just like screw the pooch this season?
I have half a feeling it's the Jim Irsay is like borderline considering selling. I think.
Oh, sure.
You could be right.
I think after what happened with Snyder, and then they get embarrassed. Sorry, you have an owner's biff, and then a week later, the two teams play, and you who started the biff get embarrassed by them.
Mm-hmm.
You burn the team at that point. That honestly, that was the I'm done. I hate every single one of you, and I do not care, and I am burning everything to the ground.
You did the Tom Brady method. I hate every one of you. I'm going to play football again.
I'm selling this team for penny on the dollars.
I reckon there's a part of that was we just lost to the Commanders, someone who I publicly attacked. No, I hate this team. He's just burning it to the ground. So, yeah.
I love it. That's my favorite theory from now on.
I'll roll with
Jim Irsay tanks the Colts.
The only way it could have been more entertaining if it was McAfee. If he had hired McAfee, that would have been the best.
I want them to get McAfee as the GM and then Marvin Harrison as the head of gun safety. That's the only thing.
Nice.
These guys are in for a tough rebuild.
I agree.
I promise this. I am watching. I want to know if like Jeff Saturday is going to be like the Bill Russell of the NFL. It's going to be like the first player coach. That's what gets Jonathan Taylor going again.
I do love though that people are already saying, oh, Andrew Luck's had a phone call, and it's like, guys, the dude's been out for 5 years. He ain't coming back.
And he's happy. He stayed out of the spotlight, but when the few times he showed up on screen, that dude looks so much happier and healthier than anybody else who's been out of the league for 5 years at the quarterback position that I've seen in a long time. Good for Andrew Luck.
Yeah. And trust me, if he does come back, it ain't for the Colts because he's out of contract now. He can go to wherever he wants.
All right, moving on to our next game. I like that smile you, Jacob. Let's talk about our upset of the week. This was a unanimous decision by everybody. Everybody picked the Bills versus Jets. Now, not gonna lie, when this game started, I was like, "Oh God, lull Jets in full effect."
Where the Jets, for the second straight week, have a chance to make a statement in the division, and they slip on the opening kickoff. Oh.
I'm gonna kick that football clear to the moon.
Yep.
Remarkably, though, that kick did not lead to a touchdown. It led to a pick. Remember how great Josh Allen playing and MVP Josh Allen, all that. This week we got his rookie form. Wild inaccuracy, costly turnovers at very poor moments.
Yes.
I'm okay. You know what? I'm going to spin this because fuck it. This was the game that Josh Allen needed to not win MVP, and I'm fine with it because he was going to be cursed. So Bills are now winning the Super Bowl. I'm fine with it. I can live with it. I'm fine because if he got MVP, Bills were going to blow the Super Bowl somehow, and I don't need that bad juju. So cool. Yep, that's fine. Mahomes, take MVP and lose in the AFC conference final. I don't care. Yeah, Bills are still making it to the Super Bowl. Oh my God, this game was rough, and I haven't sworn at a TV.
Well, it's funny. I remember I texted you last week after the game against the Packers, where like he didn't play great. I'm just like, oh, Jalen Hurts might have taken the first lead in the MVP races. He literally said, "No, it's gonna take a really awful game to get him out of the race." Enter this week.
Here's the stupid. Okay, so I bought Allen jersey last year. That I hadn't worn yet, and I had it, and I got it for anyway. This whole season, I have worn it every game but one.
And this is the one?
No, the Dolphins game was the one that I hadn't worn it, and I was mad. And because it's the one game I haven't watched at home, I had been at my parents, and I forgot to take it. So I was like, oh, God damn it. Okay. Well, I started having to wear the jersey every morning. I had an alarm that went off at 2:30 in the morning, got up, got the jersey on, and went back to bed because I was that dead tired and didn't watch the game. But I was like, no, I have to be wearing the jersey. Woke up and they were losing. And I was just like, okay, jersey's dead to me. Nope.
Jersey doesn't work anymore.
Yep.
Jersey doesn't work anymore. They were bad. This was bad. This is on Josh Allen. I think they started to get a little bit more in there, like, hey, we've got this. I think, it's a divisional game as well, which that makes sense. Like, they need to start winning some of these divisional games. They're I wouldn't do, and that's not good. Allen was bad. Allen was really bad. And there's not much more you can say. Josh Allen cost him this game.
Thing is, it might be getting worse because during the game he did suffer a UCL injury that he's still getting evaluated for.
Yeah. So
after losing this game and seeing about the Josh Allen, I'm going to cut to a reaction of every Bills fan hearing this news.
What the fuck, y'all? God damn! God damn! God damn!
What?
Fuck!
That was Jacob watching this go down.
Yeah, it was me watching this game and crying and like, look, because it was the last drive, like before Josh Allen got the ball back and they couldn't get a fucking stop, was in driving me up the wall. But like, again, I can't blame that on the defense because Allen was not helping during the game. The defense were exhausted. It's not their fault. Like it's, and the defense is riddled with injuries. They're missing like 3 of their key players.
And they went down another one.
Yep, they went down another one. Their offense isn't missing many players, and it's the problem at the moment. Like, I don't know what much more you can say other than Allen next week. If you're playing, you got to be better. And great, you're playing, and I'm not very excited for that game.
I mean, look, we got to give credit where credit is due, right? To the Jets. I know we got a buddy over here who, big Jets fan, Mike. Look, I love the law firm of Wilson and Wilson, right? That's Zach Wilson and Garrett Wilson. I'm a huge Garrett Wilson fan. I dig that kid. I love the more passes that he gets, just the better the chemistry between him and Zach Wilson is. And I'm a coin flip. One week I would say Zach Wilson, could be a star in the NFL. The next week I'm like, oh fuck, this guy.
One week he looks great. The other weeks he looks like Patrick Mahomes if he was blind.
Yeah, but the chemistry between the Wilson and Wilson firm is going great. I mean, dude, they sacked Josh Allen 5 times, and that's no easy feat. It's not. I mean, the Jets looked scrappy. They got embarrassed from the get-go. They got behind from the get-go, and they were scrappy. They kept fighting the entire time. I mean, dude, they're 6-3.
There's 6 wins on this season, and 5 of them are because of the defense.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like
it was a great. I'm sorry to say it's Jacob. I mean, it was a great game to see, but I am also in the same ballpark as you are, Jacob. Like Josh Allen needs to kind of be brought down a little bit. There's times when the dude's a peacock.
He plays hero ball so much.
Yes,
he does.
And yeah, hey, after Mahomes' performance, and we'll get to that later. I mean, Mahomes is probably going to be the front runner at this point in time for MVP, and
he's in Vegas.
Perfect. I still think the Bills are going to win the Super Bowl this year.
I agree.
Yep, that's my prediction. I still think that they're one of the best well-rounded teams. They've got some time to work some things out, but hey, I'm not taking anything away from the Jets, man. They held to it, that's for sure.
Yeah. Not to mention you had the cornerback duo is becoming like a real staple of that team, which is Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed. Both those guys are just like they're going to be like great pieces to build around for the future.
I was sorry to interrupt you, but I was, this year, like with our rookie draft class, I haven't bought a new Jets jersey in a long time. And I was like, it's one of these 4. And I think I'm going to have a number 1 jersey very shortly.
Sauce. Yeah. I would take a Sauce jersey. That dude's incredible.
I know I spent my time just criticizing the Bills because they were terrible. My God, this Jets team's fun to watch.
Are the Jets legit? Like, what's happening?
Look, I'm not ready to say they're fully legit. I don't know if they're going to I don't know if they're going to win a playoff game. Like, I just don't. But
making the playoffs based on what was expected of them this year, even if they don't make the playoffs and they have the last team that doesn't. My God, this team Vegas had them at 5.5 games winning before the season started. They've already passed that.
Yeah,
right.
Like, look, the team they remind me of is 2019's Cardinals, where they were just fun. They're not amazing. They make a lot of mistakes. They're young. They're young. They are fun to watch. And I just sit there the entire time going, I love this Jets team. Like I really enjoy it. Robert, 3 weeks ago, three weeks ago, I
gotta be in Coach of the Year conversation.
3 weeks ago, I had Daboll as Coach of the Year, lock guaranteed. There are now 4 contenders in it because these teams just keep winning and to keep playing incredibly. And I'm beyond the future of the NFL in a lot of these younger teams is amazing.
The future of the AFC East right now is insane.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's going to be dominant for the next 7 to 10 years easily. There's a special kind of talent that comes from coaches who can wrangle in young players and turn them into a scrappy team that has one vision. Because
Salah's doing it.
And he absolutely is. Absolutely. That is a special kind of management right there.
We're going, look, I think Kyle Shanahan's going to have the opposite problem of Bill Belichick, where Shanahan's not the greatest coach. I think Shanahan is a very talented coach.
His coaching tree is insane.
But his coaching tree is wow. That might be one of the greatest coaching trees we've ever seen outside of maybe Parcells.
It's what Salah, McDaniel.
LaFleur, who's the current offensive coordinator of the Jets.
There's a lot of other names in there at the moment, but it's just
just right there though. Those three names we just mentioned. I don't know if LaFleur is going to maintain being an offensive coordinator for more than another year. I think he's going to be a head coach in 2 years. So you're right with the Shanahan tree. It's really looking damn good. And the thing that's proven with Shanahan's style, look at what we didn't mention this, but look at what Jeff Wilson just did going to the Dolphins on 4 days learning. And no, I'm not saying he lit the world on fire. He had a touchdown and went right into that playbook because it was the McDaniel playbook, which obviously, they create a scheme, especially for running backs, and then for their defense too. The Shanahan coaching is just insanely effective in today's NFL.
Yeah. Well, Mike, congratulations, London. Moving on to our next game.
I'll take it. I will on it.
You're gonna get the next one, and you're gonna stomp us probably. So
No, look. Bills don't play divisional players rivals well at all. They've never have. They've always had tough divisional games. So I'm not guaranteeing you we're winning. I honestly don't know if we're going to win a divisional game this year. I think we'll yeah.
I mean, it's getting colder. I gotta make sure Josh Allen takes his Viagra.
Hey-o.
Next game we're talking about the Vikings versus the Commies. Kirk Cousins returned to the land that made him not great, but made him.
Got him a lot of money.
Did get him a lot of money.
Yeah.
A lot of money.
Yes.
This game basically the Commanders did keep up with them for a good while in this game. They did. They had the lead for a long while. The Vikings didn't really break this game open to their advantage until the third quarter. Yeah. The Commanders are a scrappy team right now. They're a team that is always throwing punches. They might not be landing every single one of them, but they're not going to go down without a fight. I respect the way they're playing. Taylor Heineke is not the best, by far, not even close to the best quarterback in the NFL, but that dude's gutsy. I like the way he's playing football right now. You got Terry McLaurin, who I've fallen in love with this season. I liked Terry McLaurin before the season. I love Terry McLaurin right now. That is the kind of guy you want on your team. They can't get their run game going on the Commanders side, which is something that the Vikings are able to do, and that's one of the key reasons that they did win this game. The Vikings, right now, looking at this NFC as a whole, they look like a clear-cut number 2 to me.
Yeah.
There's maybe the 49ers in the conversation, possibly. But behind the Eagles right now, the Vikings are the most complete team. And in some ways, I think they might at this point be a smidge more complete than the Eagles. The Eagles did beat them week 2, but I think if they played again and it was a 1:00 game, I think the Vikings might get them.
Well, I mean, 1:00 is when prime time is when Kirk gets activated.
Right.
Problem is,
if
they got Super Bowl. You're not playing at 1:00.
Right.
But you are playing in Arizona this year, and it's 4:00. So. If there was a year for the Vikings, it's this year.
Right now.
I like the Vikings for a run right now. Looking at the NFC, I do like them to make a run.
The Vikings are, I think, the most underrated team in football right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think no one's talking about them. I think
they're off the radar, and that's a good thing for them.
And they're 7-1. They should be on everyone's
radar. They're 7-1, and no one's talking about them.
Yeah,
everyone just keeps talking shit.
The reason for it is no one trusts Kirk. Absolutely, no one trusts him.
Well, for good reason. Good reason.
And it's fair. And I'm not saying it's. I'm not I don't disagree with it, but I also think that they're going to end up with the number 2 seed. They're probably gonna play either the Cowboys or the Giants in their first game of the playoffs.
I don't think it'll be the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys will be higher than the 7 seed. The Giants is a possibility, but when you look at what they did,
seventh seed.
That trade though that they made is going to pay off in dividends because Hawkinson is all 1 game in and he's already shown chemistry. 1 game in.
I really like them. My biggest fear, they're going to make the playoffs. They're probably going to be the number 2 seed. Called that at the start of the season. Chance just wanted to reiterate that one. I called that one.
I did. He did. He called it.
My biggest fear with them is that Kirk Cousins is going to play the Monday night playoff game we'll lose to either Daniel Jones or Geno Smith.
God, Geno Smith is probably the most likely candidate. Now that you say that, at this point,
that's I think that's where we're going, and a 7th seed is going to somehow. I think these playoffs is going to be fascinating in the NFC because I think a wild card is going to make it to the playoff to the conference, or another team is going to make it to the conference that we're going to talk about later.
I think I agree because the NFC right now, I think unless the Giants collapse, I think we know our 7 already. Like
I do too.
I think we know the 7 in the NFC at this point. It's just a matter of seeding.
Yeah.
And what I totally agree with you because one of those 2 NFC West teams is obviously not winning the conference, not winning their division.
Yeah.
And whichever one doesn't,
keep
an eye on them.
The other thing I want to say about the Commanders is Heineke has officially taken Wentz's job.
100%.
Like they're playing with more spirit. They're playing with better. Like you can just feel it in the team that it's happier.
There's a spark.
Yeah, that they're like you're right. He doesn't care. He's not the greatest. He knows it though. Like he's not playing hero ball. He's not trying things that are above his.
It's right here.
Yeah, he's just like, fuck, I don't care. I'm going for this, and I'm going to try and win this for my team. I'm putting them on my back, and I'm going to try and win. Is he going to be back next year? Who knows? I mean, you know, they
could do worse.
They could luck their way into a freaking playoff spot with the way the NFC is going. So
yeah,
like
true.
Who knows at this point? But I'm at a point where Carson Wentz could actually be done as an NFL starter completely, if not.
I think he is.
Well, the thing is, though, like, what do you do with Carson Wentz? Because you did take on his entire contract.
It's done. The end of this year.
It's done this year.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the guaranteed money's done at the end of this year. I think.
Oh, guaranteed, yes. Okay, guaranteed money is done this year.
Like, I think you can cut him and you don't owe him anything at the end of this year.
Right.
I think. I could be wrong about that. You might have to have one more year, but it's not that bad of a cap hit. Like, I thought that was the whole point was the Colts took on 1 year and then they got a massive cap hit. But then when Washington took it, they didn't get that bit. Like,
okay, they have a potential out next year.
Yeah, they do have an out next year. So
which will result in a cap. Holy shit, $26 million in a cap hit.
So yeah, like I said, it's a bad hit. Don't get me wrong, it's a bad hit, but it is a, you know, if you got a rookie contract and you're like, we're done with Wentz. Like,
no,
my office is motion sensor. Excuse me.
See, you want to know the crazy thing is that, with the current landscape, you want to know what I think is going to happen with Carson Wentz next year? Should that happen?
Back to Indianapolis.
No, he's going to be the backup on the New York Jets.
Yeah,
that's what I'm calling.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. But I also think he's going to have a backup role somewhere. Like, and that's. I think him and Baker are going to have the biggest problems going forward in the NFL because their ego.
And Darnold.
Being a backup. No, Darnold's been
ego, yes.
Like, Darnold could be a backup very easily and it not disrupt the room. It's the Cam Newton problem. Cam Newton can't be a backup. He's proven it. He cannot be a backup for a team. I don't know if Baker can, and I don't know if Wentz can. They're going to have to be humbled real freaking quick. And
speaking of getting humbled, moving on to our next game, let's talk about the Raiders versus the Jaguars.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, my God. Well, one thing sums up this game.
You blew it!
The Raiders have blown a 17 or more point lead for the third time in the last 9 weeks.
Do you guys remember at the start of the year when the AFC West was going to be the best division in football, and was
on paper they were
insane games for the entire season, and was going to have 3 teams, and all 4 teams were going to make the playoffs? That didn't happen.
We might only get one.
Honestly, we actually might only get one.
Like the crazy thing, I was talking to some Raiders fans at work. It was like, you trade for the best receiver in the league,
right?
And you somehow get way worse.
Yeah.
So no. You trade for 2 future Hall of Famers in Devontae Adams and Chandler Jones, and your team is way worse now. I don't get it.
So okay, We've seen there are two massive trades that we've seen. Tyreek Hill going from the Chiefs to the Dolphins. Both teams, absolutely, that trade worked for both of them.
Both of them.
I don't think either team right now, if you had told the Tyreek Hill, hey, would you want to go back on the Chiefs? You'd be like, no, I'm very happy where I am. Chiefs, do you want Tyreek Hill back? No, we're very happy where we are. Raiders are probably going, yeah, get rid of him. And Packers are like, we're desperate. Like, we need him back. Like, both of them, this trade did not work for either team.
Well, the thing is, like Devontae is not the problem here.
No, he's not.
No, he's not. Like, he's far from it. Yeah.
He played really well. 10 receptions for nearly 150 yards on the day. Like, he is the thing trying to keep that offense afloat. Problem is, like, it's coaching. Like, Josh McDaniels is the only team back.
I was about to say, because Jacobs is having his best season ever.
Yep.
Mac Hollins is playing damn well as a number 2, honestly. Darren Waller being hurt definitely is affecting the team. It is. Yeah. There's no doubt about that. And Hunter Renfrow really is having kind of a down year. But look at that, though. You have Adams, Hollins, and Jacobs all playing at a very good level. It's the coaching and it's Carr not stepping up into another level. He's at that, borderline, he's at right at the cusp of being what you consider a good quarterback. He's at that line right now where are you better than Carr or worse than Carr? I think he's taken over the Joe Flacco line, and he's actually way below his old line this year.
No, I think that is
Carr's,
the biggest problem.
Yeah, Carr's always been that guy, though. Mm-hmm. I mean, his entire career with the Raiders, he's always been that guy that's been on that teeter-totter, and you're going,
he's the number 16 or 17 best quarterback in the league.
Exactly. You go, there he is. There's your flash of brilliance, and then it's again, you have all the makings of just an outstanding offensive regimen with these guys, but I agree 100%. It's coaching. It's a waste.
Yeah, keep in mind, Josh McDaniels has lost 23 of his last 30 games as a head coach.
Insane.
He's blown 3 17-plus point leads this season. The Raiders, as a franchise, at this point, have only had 5 of those since the 1960s.
5.
Yeah,
it's insane.
As a franchise, they have blown 5. 3 of them are this year.
Yep. How nuts is that? How nuts is what you just said? Just blows my mind.
You're responsible for one guy is responsible for the biggest collapses in your team history.
Look, I don't think they're going to fire McDaniels. I think they should, but I don't think they will. And
they really should.
The reason why is he's getting sued by what's his name, their former coach. So that's going to cost him a lot of money. That he might actually have to pay $60 million plus damages.
It's a possibility, actually. Yeah,
there's a genuine possibility that happens. Then he's going to have to pay out McDaniel's contract. Then he's going to have to get another coach in what is going to be a very open market for some pretty good teams.
What would be ironic? What would be ironic is because if Jeff McDaniels famously pulled out of the Colts job, and this Frank Reich got it. Be hilarious if McDaniels got fired and was replaced by Frank Reich once again.
Yeah, to me, McDaniels is the epitome of you get hired until you suck at your basically he keeps getting hired because he's so good at being a coordinator, but he sucks as a head coach. And that's the problem he's always going to have is some team is forever and always going to be like, oh, we'll roll the dice. He'll work for us because he's that good as a coordinator at the Patriots. And then he goes to be a head coach and it's a different job. People just think it's this easy step up. It's a very different job from being a coordinator to being a head coach. And we get proven time and time again, he's just not it. He doesn't have what it takes to be a head coach.
So I got a comparison for this, and tell me if I'm wrong. You can disagree if you want. Josh McDaniels is to an offensive coordinator becoming a head coach as Todd Bowles is to become a defensive coordinator becoming a head coach.
Well, we'll talk about Bowles in a second, but yeah, what were we going to say, Haas?
Both of them, both of them get the reins, and all of a sudden, the sink ships.
2 points. One, the Davis family is notorious for holding on to terrible head coaches. They always have been.
Sure.
Father to son. That family has. Madden was the only good coach that team's ever had. Secondly, I got to give a little shout out to my fantasy savior, the Mr. Travis Etienne Jr. for the Jaggies. Man, I got that guy like 6th round in like 3 of my leagues.
I mean,
And
ETN
has been the savior.
ETN is proving to be the only good thing that come out of Urban Meyer's coaching tenure. The only good thing.
Yeah. Yes.
Look, and talking about the game, actually talking about the game, I thought, again, Trevor Lawrence was good. I thought
he was fine.
I think he genuinely could be the casualty of Urban Meyer's, though. Like, I really think we could end up going, wow, Urban Meyer destroyed that career. Because
here's a hypothetical for you.
Mm.
Hypothetical, looking at the last year. Flip-flop Zach Wilson and Trevor Lawrence. Imagine what would have happened.
Oh my God! Like I think he's just like looking at what Zach Wilson's doing right now, and just like, why couldn't I have been number 2? Why couldn't the Jets have to win a game?
Yeah. Like now, imagine the difference if that had happened with Robert Saleh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or not only that, like look at even I still maintain I've always liked Justin Fields. I've always liked him as a quarterback. Could you imagine if the Jets had Justin Fields right now? That would just be incredible, and they are
even more fun.
That's going to be a mistake that they made.
Also, game-winning kick. My favorite fact of this game: the game-winning kick was kicked by the kicker named Dicker.
Yeah,
no, that was a Chargers.
That's Chargers.
Yeah, that was the Chargers.
On the Jaguars.
But for this game, Carlson did make his 41st straight field
consecutive.
Goal.
Yeah,
I think that's like 2 or 3 away from the all-time record.
Yeah, he's close.
Yeah, so good for him.
Carlson's like the one bright spot.
What are the bright spots about
the only?
And I'm pretty sure the Raiders are now contacting the Packers about trading for Bisaccia back. I would.
Yeah, probably. They're like, hey, and the Packers are like, cool, give us Adams back. We want Adams back.
Right. One for one. Let's do that. All right. Next game we're talking about NFC West football. Seahawks versus Cardinals. And something that always crossed my mind whenever I watch a Cardinals game. Y'all are paying Kyler Murray how much money?
Yeah.
Kyler's okay. Kyler isn't the problem with.
He's a problem.
He's a problem.
He's not the problem. He's a problem.
He's a problem. I will give you that, but he's not the problem. The problem is we won't fire our coach for some stupid reason. They will not.
Not only that, you went to Great Lakes to keep him around for the next couple of years.
It's driving me mad.
I want. It's funny. I want. What's his name? Cliff King is ready to get fired, and then I imagine he's gonna go to the same bar as Matt Rule and Frank Reich, and these coaches who are sign massive contracts before losing their job.
I'm shocked we haven't, because he is terrible, and he'll get a college coaching job. He'd get one,
easy,
but
sure.
I don't know why we haven't, because him and the manager,
Steve Kime, y'all need to get rid of him.
Kime needs to be fired. They both need to go. I don't know why we haven't, and it's so infuriating because look, Kyler's not great at the moment, and probably has one of the worst contracts in football right now outside of Russell Wilson. It's
not entirely the Cardinals' fault. A lot of this falls on the Browns for what they did.
Yeah, sure. But damn, they're not good. They're not a good team. They're definitely not making the playoffs. But I don't want to talk about bad teams, because the Seahawks are probably the best surprise this all year. The single greatest surprise ever.
Even more so than the Jets, I think.
The fact that you have a team led by Geno Smith, a guy who's never been a linchpin of a team or a franchise.
Yes.
Yeah. He is currently leading the league in completion percentage.
Yep.
Which is this is a team too.
This is the best story in the NFL.
It really is. And this team keeps their running back was a running back by committee, because it's just one injury after the other. Then all of a sudden, boom,
Kenneth Walker.
Killing it. 4 games in a row, 100 yards each game, just smashing right now. Pete Carroll is the quarterback whisperer. Regardless of what your feelings are with Pete Carroll, that guy is the quarterback whisperer. What he's been able to do with just quarterback after quarterback after quarterback, that's from college level until now, is outstanding. I mean,
no argument.
I hate the fucking Seahawks because they're in the same division as the Rams, but I absolutely love what Geno's doing.
So there's the, was it Brady or was it Belichick discussion? Always
Right.
and there's always that. This year, oh boy, like it was when Brady won in Tampa in 2020, where it was like, it was all Brady and it wasn't. It was all Brady and it wasn't. It was an anything to do with Belichick, and it's kind of like evened out a little bit. Again, it's the same thing this year. Pete Carroll.
I think the argument for that is different in this case because there's one big difference that people are ignoring. Brady went to a team that had an established head coach.
Yes.
Russell Wilson did not.
No, and that is fair, and I will give that. However, I wanted to just
No, like it is an interesting conversation. I just think that I think people are like ignoring the entire picture with Russell Wilson, and I will admit he is not playing well. I'm a fan of Russell Wilson. I will admit he's not playing well, but I am willing to give him some leeway in some cases.
I think I'm more meaning it from a point of you take you take this quarterback who is famous for being a bust, famous for being he was a genuine bust. The last probably two seasons in Seattle were really bad, as in that relationship had ended and it was bad. And he's like, he looks incredible. Like he's turned Geno into
it's crazy because we saw Geno Smith start in game before this, and he didn't look good. But I think that added pressure of having to be the number one QB, I think it just something clicked.
Yeah.
Not only that,
in college
he had a full preseason that after week 2 when they firmly said it's not Drew Lock, it's Geno Smith. He had a full preseason with the ones, which he never had with the Seahawks before.
Yeah, I don't know if Geno Smith will be in Seattle next season, but I guarantee if it keeps like this, he's going to get a contract somewhere.
He'll be in Seattle.
Yeah, I think he's going to be in Seattle.
If they get a top 10 pick, you don't think they're going to take a quarterback for the future?
No way.
No,
I don't think so.
Sorry, I don't think they're getting a top 10 pick. I really don't.
I mean,
outside of maybe
that's fair.
Unless they get the Broncos one, unless the Broncos one
again, if the Broncos keep going, they get a top 10 pick. You don't take a quarterback if you're the GM for Seattle.
There's too many other teams who want to trade up.
Yeah, I honestly would.
So you rather ride out with Geno for another year?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd give it another year
because franchise tag his ass.
Here's the worst that can happen. You're not going to get Geno for expensive. It's going to be cheap.
Right.
The worst that can happen is next year Geno sucks. Cool, we get our top 10 pick back.
You give him a 3-year contract and you roll with it.
Okay.
I'd give him 3-year contract, 1 year guaranteed money. It wouldn't be that expensive. Have the basically ability to trade him or cut him after a year or two.
Yeah.
And then I would sell that top 10 pick to the highest bidder because someone's going to want a quarterback and they're not going to be the Giants are probably going to want a quarterback and they're going to give up a lot to get that. And I would be like, okay, cool.
If they gave up a big trade to the Bears, kind of like they did in 2021.
I do want to get real though, and I know he's watching. DeAndre, I know that you're having problems with Kyler Murray. Okay, we saw the exchange on the sideline, friend. Listen, there is a brighter, sunnier path with the Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah.
Oh,
please come on over. The water is fine.
It wasn't
Trust me.
I have one other thing to say.
No, he ain't going to the Rams.
One other thing to say about the Cardinals before we move on. So tomorrow night we premiere Hard Knocks in season with the Cardinals.
Oh my God! If we see a coach get fired on Hard Knocks,
that's what I was going to say.
that would be the greatest moment. We saw a coach get fired in the middle of Hard Knocks.
Be a golden age of television right there.
Oh my God, that'd be the greatest moment in television history. But yeah,
man.
Mark,
let's
as much
get
as I
to it.
wish
Could you,
there
Let's
were-
get to it.
could you imagine that's the reason they can't? There's something in the contract saying you cannot
get
fire
fired
a
on Hard
coach.
Knocks.
No,
during Hard
HBO
Knocks.
is probably like, please do it. Please do it. Our ratings will
No, I mean, the
skyrocket.
NFL has a thing saying you cannot fire because like they can't put a new coach in while Hard Knocks is on or something. Like there's something in there and that's the thing that's stopping them.
Oh, that would be so good.
Well, we just talked about the really great quarterback play of Geno Smith. Let's talk about a game that had absolutely none of that. The Rams versus the Buccaneers. And yes, that's the sentence I just said.
I'll lead off.
I'm just going to say this. I'll let you go, Haas, real quick, but in a second. But the Rams are a fucking disgrace.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. First of all, Raheem Morris, I don't know what Raheem Morris is doing the entire game. I really don't. You have Tampa Bay, whose O-line is completely battered for again, they've been battered all year. Why are you not blitzing more? Why are you running so much soft zone?
Why is your receivers 10 to 12 freaking yards, or your corners 10 to 12 yards away from the wide receivers?
Why are you playing so much zone? Like, I don't get it.
It's 6 yards every throw, every freaking throw, 6 yards,
Like,
6
again,
yards.
like
Come on,
Tom Brady.
man.
Like Tom Brady's literally entire thing is just dinking and ducking. That's all he fucking does. Like you think teams would wise up to that.
The Rams, I mean, I think you guys have probably covered this a million times and said this a million times. Look, they were pot committed last year. They went all in on one season, right? A lot of 1-year contracts. I mean, look, this is what happens when a team wins a Super Bowl, right? A lot of the players that have these 1-year contracts, boom, look at Von Miller, cashes in with the Bills, and he's killing it for the Bills right now, right? Rams went all in, and then what's left is an embarrassment. It's like a hangover. Like they're still hungover from the partying of the offseason from winning the Super Bowl. There was a moment after Matt Stafford completed the 70-yard touchdown catch to Cooper Kupp, and the camera panned to Sean McVay, the head coach, and he looked surprised that something that he called worked. It's so embarrassing for the Rams right now.
I think it's the shock the fact that he can get off a 70-yard pass, given the atrocious nature of the O-line right now.
That's the other. I'm holding reserve judgment by not blaming a lot on Stafford, because the dude can't take a 5-step drop, because on step 4 the defenders are in the backfield and he's on his back.
Matt Stafford's he's a gunslinger, he's not an improviser.
He's not an improviser. He's a pocket quarterback, and the dude has zero time in the back room. Hey now. The Rams are awful, aside from Cooper Kupp, which again, you cannot base your entire offense around Cooper Kupp, which they are.
Yeah, that's another thing. Look, Cooper Kupp he's great. He's one of the best receivers in the NFL right now.
Yes.
If he's your entire offense, though.
And he is. Allen Robinson has done nothing. There was a moment where Allen Robinson had a brilliant 4-yard catch in this game. And it was I don't know about you, but that's not worth the money that we're paying him.
Well, but it's he's just not getting the targets. He's not getting the ball.
He's not. They're running a weird offensive scheme. They're never running the ball to begin with.
They can't run the ball.
And when we do, who the hell do we have? I believe Darrell Henderson. Yeah, Darrell Henderson has talent. Stick with the run. I don't know. There's just so much wrong with this team, and the Buccaneers are such a bad team too. This should have been an easy beat for the Rams. It really should have. Absolutely. The Rams still have a decent defense. And to your point, Chance, that we should have blitzed. We should have had 10 sacks against Brady. There should have been no way Brady put up a 100,000-yard marker against the Rams. There's so much.
That's when you have Brady throwing the ball nearly 60 times.
Exactly.
And most of them are in the dirt.
Exactly. So it's a case of looking at some of the stats for LA as far as targets go. Cooper Kupp has nearly double the amount of targets as any other receiver, which
he does. Yeah.
Big problem.
Yeah.
Running couldn't do much of anything. The thing is, it kind of dawned on me what is happening with Tom Brady this season in particular. Tom Brady in the NFL is the anti-Westbrook. He only wakes up in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
That's it. That's literally it.
I mean, look, I think arguably Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback possibly ever
There's
to play.
no
the game,
argument.
right?
I don't think there's an argument.
Yes, there is, and I will.
There's no
One of these
argument.
days, I'm gonna do my
but
whole
look,
power presentation as to why he's overrated.
I gauge the best by the person who has the most, right? He has the most wins, he has the most yards, he has the most Super Bowls. Like, he's the best quarterback, maybe at least that I've seen so far play, right? There's other up and comers who maybe can set the next benchmark for the future of the NFL. But for up to this point, I consider Tom Brady one of the greatest of all time. But looking at Brady this season, there's a line from The Office where like Andy Bernard has just been dumped, and they're like, "Oh, what'd you do for dinner last night?" He's like, "I ate pizza over the sink like a rat." That's just what Tom Brady looks like this season. Like, physically looks like this season. Like, his pregame meal was him eating a pizza over a sink like a rat. Like, that's my vision of Tom Brady at this moment in his career.
Haas, as a Rams fan, I just want to say one thing. Really hug and hold on to that ring tight, because you're in for a rough rebuild.
Well,
I agree.
The problem with the Rams is the fact that you can't rebuild. You don't have first round picks for like the entire decade.
With the offensive line like this, holy crap!
Yeah, like you need those picks back desperately, and you don't have them.
Like, seriously, if I'm the Rams and I'm trading Aaron Donald, I am trading Cup, I am getting rid of everyone and doing a full rebuild, because guess what? They're not going to be here to win a ring next time. You have got this is a 7-year rebuild. This is
for sure
not easy. Like,
for sure. I mean, look,
so Rams fans, hold that ring, because it cost a lot, and it's like, and again, trust me, I think every single team here would agree it's worth it. You get the ring.
Oh yeah, no, getting the ring is worth it. It's worth it.
Yeah, I'd take anything for a ring.
I'm like Haas and I would know. You two would not, but Haas and I would know.
Yeah,
and ownership too played a strategic business game too. I mean, first year of the new stadium. I mean, that's got to pay for itself. How is it going to pay for itself? You have to win a championship. You have to put butts in the seats, and they did. He built the most technologically advanced stadium in the world to date, and went all in on this. I mean, again, from a business standpoint,
that is until Top Golf Field opens in Tennessee. In a couple
oh, dude, they're 2 weeks away from completing a Top Golf that's 20 minutes from my home.
Oh, nice.
You will never see me again.
Yeah, I've got one half hour down the road, and
we got one about 15 minutes from me. Yeah.
Oh God.
Have you guys seen the pictures for the new Titan Stadium?
No.
Yes,
I have.
It looks like a giant Top Golf.
It looks ridiculous.
No, but that's my thing is, we all have this. A lot of fans have this desire of, I want to be a dynasty. The Patriots have basically destroyed any sense of, like, guys, getting one is worth it, and that is it. You got one, you get to hold on to that for the next decade. That you got one. Look at the Broncos. The Broncos went all in 2015. They got theirs. And they have been a mess of an organization since.
Ever since.
Yes.
But hey, you got your ring, and you get to hold and cuddle that ring at night, because trust me, there ain't another one coming for a long time. And
there's only two teams in the NFL who have continuously rolled with the punches and kind of done the rebuilding process each year that they needed to do. And that's the 49ers, who have not won one, but they've kept themselves in contention every year. And the Kansas City Chiefs, who the question mark is going to be coming soon, because their stars are all going to contract out.
And once Mahomes' contract really hits, oh boy, that's gonna be interesting.
Right. But again, look at what they've done this season with their thing. They got rid of Tyreek Hill because they couldn't afford him, and they went and
they could afford him. He just wanted out.
Well, okay, but they knew going forward they wouldn't have been able to afford him going at some point. Probably not for the amount that he wanted, with given where wide receivers are at the moment.
Thanks, Christian Kirk.
Well, yeah. Thanks, Jags. It's just kind of that's where this is. Like,
well, we've kind of danced around it for a little bit. Let's get into what we again
game of the
unanimous
week.
decision game of the week: the Titans versus the Chiefs.
This was a fun game to watch. Not gonna lie.
This to me shows again. These two teams are. I'll say it right now. These are incredibly one-dimensional in their approach to offense.
Both of them.
Catch is they are dimensions that are very hard to stop. On one hand, you have King Henry.
Yep.
He is back to pounding with the rock once again, and it is glorious to see. He is literally their entire offense, and I mean literally, so much so that starting QB Malik Willis we'll touch him again later, did not complete a single pass to a wide receiver the entire game.
Not only that, they didn't have a single first down in the second half.
Not at all. On the other hand, you have the passing attack led by Patty Mahomes. Guy threw the ball nearly 70 times in the game, which again, I'm very concerned for them in the long term because that's exactly what undid them versus the Buccaneers. I'm very concerned about like going up against like a really good defense like the Eagles or the Jets. That's the thing I just said. I'm going for the Chiefs versus the Jets. But point is, are they one-dimensional teams as far as offense goes? Absolutely. Look at that. Malik Willis, 5 passes for 80 yards on the day. But again, like when they are rolling and when those things are clicking, like they are very hard to stop.
This game infuriated me because I really
bet on the Titans. That's the only reason.
I really didn't want the Chiefs to win this one. And when they were up, when the Titans were up, trust me, I never once believed that the Titans were going to win because I've seen this movie so many times. The Chiefs were coming back and winning it. But that second half was infuriating because they just could not do anything. They're missing AJ Brown. That was a mistake. That was a great mistake.
Something else we're starting to see is that I'm starting to realize why Malik Willis fell so far on draft boards.
Yeah.
There was a lot of talk that he could have gone as high as number 2.
Yeah.
He was not going 1. He was not going.
No, I mean first round.
First round.
He was going to go for the first quarterback, like above Pickett.
Yes. Yeah. But like looking at him in these past 2 games, like, oh, maybe this is why.
The scouts were on to something that the media was not.
Look, we're starting to see there was a reason why this was the craziest offseason we've ever had. Because, hey, this wasn't a good quarterback class. Straight up. It was not a good class. And
look, Kenny Pickett's going to evolve. I have faith in the boy.
Okay, Pickett fell to the Steelers, who were picking 16th or 17th, like
20th.
Sorry,
22nd, 20th.
Oh wow, okay, fuck.
Yeah, we were in the 20th.
Where they took him was appropriate. Yeah.
No, but that's what I'm getting at. Like, there was a reason. There was a reason why the Broncos went, we're going to get Russell Wilson. There was a reason why the Colts went, we're going to overpay for Matt Ryan. There was a reason these teams decided we're fine with going with Geno Smith in Seattle. Like, again, that bet has massively paid off. But if they went and got Malik Willis in the first round, like we were all thinking they would,
it would have been a different story.
It would have been a very different story. And the Seattle are probably a bottom 10 team. And we're all going, Seattle are where we thought they would be. Like, I understand now why this was one of the craziest offseasons we've ever had. I think we're going to have another one next year, but it's not going to be quarterbacks. It's going to be wide receivers.
Yes.
Because the wide receiver class is terrible next year. So we're going to start seeing, and what's going to be even more interesting is the wide receiver market is about to explode because Jefferson and Chase are about to be the 2 highest paid wide receivers in fucking football history. So like the wide receiver market is going to get close. It won't eclipse, obviously, but it's going to be the closest we get to a quarterback class, like the closest we get to quarterback level of pay. And this game proved it. They need a wide receiver. Titans are my sneaky for OBJ. They're my sneaky. They're my okay. Here's why. I think the Titans could massively overpay and be like, here is a 4-year fully guaranteed contract at like 20 million or something, like where they're just like, no other team is giving him the extension that he wants or any of that, and the Titans end up being the sneaky one because
and it's not a bad picture because like the Titans like they're still like a playoff contender at this point.
Yeah, Titans are absolutely a playoff contender with Derrick Henry. If Derrick Henry's in that team, Titans are absolutely a
by the way, their division's terrible.
Yeah. And by the way, Derrick Henry, as of this point, has officially taken the title back as the number 1 rusher in the NFL.
And he's not giving it up. Chubb's doing great. Chubb is doing fantastic.
The reason he got the number 1 spot again was because Chubb was on a bye week, but he's down to hold serve, and I think he can, especially the way he's going right now.
But like. Hey, I got injured for 8 games. Oh, I'm back. Like he's back. He got injured for 8 games, and everyone went, "Oh, the king is dead." No, he's not. At
the first year, we're like, "Is the king dead?" Like, it's you thought.
Derrick Henry's the John Wick of the NFL, right? They're like, "Oh, is he back? Is he back?" And then he comes back and fucking kills everybody, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm back." Patrick Mahomes in this game, I think his come from behind victory. I mean, if there was one throw, my God, the dude escaped like 4 defenders, and I swear to God, like threw it out of his asshole and got a 20-yard first down to Kelsey. Like, the plays that he makes is unfreaking real. And I think because of like his come from behind, and because of Josh Allen's not so stellar day this past weekend, I think this puts Mahomes right now in MVP number one contention.
It's him and Hurts right now. I would love to see her. I would love to see Hurts win, just because I'm becoming a fan.
The story of Hurts is so good.
Despite the fact that he hurt me badly last week, I would like to see Hurts win.
You do have to respect Mike Vrabel as coach of the Titans, like at least putting up, like getting his team to put up that kind of a fight against the Chiefs.
Yeah,
I mean, look, like your quarterback completes 5 catches, and this is a 3-point game.
I felt for that Titans defense so badly.
Yes. They played so good.
They were so good against like that's demoralizing. That is absolutely that is potentially locker room destroying.
I agree. That is your defense being on the field 80% of the time versus 20% of the time.
Again, nearly 70 pass attempts.
Yes. Yeah,
I'm sorry, Chance.
There are teams in which the two quarterbacks combined for 70 pass attempts.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it was just one of those like, guys, you've just got to get a first down. And there was moments in that game where a first down you could win it. You could very easily have won that game if they just got a first down. Yeah. And they just couldn't. And like it was. I felt for the defense because I was just sitting there going, you guys have played outstanding. Like you've held Mahomes, the best offense in the league, or one of, to 17
Right now,
points.
I'd say the best.
Yeah, like to 17 points. This is insane. Like how have you have managed to do this? And you just knew at some point this dam's breaking. At some point, this defense is going to be so exhausted. And it did. And anyone who blames the defense for this loss is a moron. This is absolutely 100%.
This is squarely on the offense, not being able to do anything.
100% agree.
A consistent problem of Tennessee in the past like 2 seasons has been they cannot finish off their opponents.
Yeah, right.
They need a quarterback badly. Like they need to go find one. I don't know who to get, but they need a quarterback and they need a wide receiver.
This could be the Rodgers move as well.
This could be.
This is the other one. This is the one I was thinking. It's the one that probably makes the most sense as well. Of hey, it's out of conference.
Okay, look, Tennessee. Look, if you want Mason Rudolph, you can take him. We will pay you to get him off our hands.
So I wanted to say is like I would not want to be the team playing the Tennessee defense this week.
No. Before we get into that, we have one more game to go over. It's Monday Night Football. We got the Ravens versus the Saints. A team that, for some reason, is still insisting on starting Andy Dalton. Jameis is fully healthy, he can play. I don't know why they're insisting on starting Andy Dalton, but here we are, and I think this might be the last time we see Andy Dalton start for the New Orleans Saints.
But I got 2 words for you. Roquan Smith. That defense looked different with him in there.
Yeah.
So I barely watched this game. I was at work. And I was also watching the NBA because they had all 30 teams playing. So
nice.
I was more into the NBA than this game. I watched the highlights, and this was typical of what I expected this game would happen. Like
this is what I thought would happen. Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, like their run defense got significantly better. Alvin Kamara, again, one of the better backs in the league, couldn't do anything. Didn't even have 50 yards on the day.
No.
There's that. The Ravens offense didn't do anything special, but Lamar Jackson was like, he did enough to win. Interesting enough, like
Kenyon Drake did good.
Kenyon Drake, that's how you know your team is suffering, is when Kenyon Drake all of a sudden comes from 3rd string to be the starter because of every injury to running back.
Put him nearly 100 yards on you. That's a problem.
And then Kenyon Drake comes in and goes off. Like that's when you know, like, oh fuck, we're in trouble.
The interesting thing, was the passing attack of the Baltimore Ravens. They had 10 receivers catch at least one pass. They only had like 2 guys catch more than one.
Right.
And they both caught 2.
This is Lamar playing at the park with his friends. Like
It
that's exactly what this game was, especially for the Ravens offense. Like
this
Saints
is the
posed
team.
nothing against
This
them.
is the team that can benefit from Odell more than any other team, I think, right now.
I agree with that. Yes. Look, the Ravens, I think where Odell should go is the Ravens. The Ravens should be the
100%.
one that Odell goes to. I just
throw
don't
the
think
farm at him.
Yeah.
I don't see it happening because I don't see the Ravens offering him
I don't want the Ravens to get Odell. I don't want to deal with Odell twice a year.
But not only that, he'll be able to go up against the Browns twice a year,
That's
and he
true.
can just be like, "Hey,
I'm
this
back."
is what you gave up for nothing, like literally nothing."
Yeah.
I would love him to go to the Ravens again. I think the Ravens are going to make the biggest mistake in the offseason, and they're not going to. They're going to franchise tag.
They are going to franchise. I guarantee you.
They're going to tag him. He's not going to play. He's not going to play on the tag.
There's
no way he plays on the tag.
The thing I'm fascinated for, and Lamar could be the first one to do it, where he's like, "Fine, I'll play," and he just spikes every single ball. Like, I'm waiting for the quarterback to do it, and that because it basically just goes, "I am playing. You have to pay me. I am technically playing. I'm just spiking the ball.
Just throws the ball out of bounds every time.
I love this so much.
Plays terribly, and it's known that he's doing this intentionally, and it's just like, we have to trade him.
That's the biggest slap it on the table move I've ever heard.
Yeah. I'm waiting for the quarterback to do it just because, oh my God, it would be hilarious.
All right. But that's going to do it for our Week 9 discussion. We now look forward to the week that is coming, our Week 10 predictions. We're talking that, as well as our new segment, Stunks or Not Stunks, which we never done with other people. This is going to be fun. Basically, yeah, so we're going to throw out a name. You're going to tell me, are they stunks or are they not stunks going into the next week? Going into our buys this week, we have the Bengals, the Patriots, the Jets, and the Ravens. So, Mike, you enjoy stretch football this week. That's nice. Going into Thursday Night Football, we got the Panthers versus the Falcons. I don't know who organized the Amazon contract, but they need to be fired and fired immediately.
I hate Amazon. That's all I can say. They're just like,
it's ironic considering Jeff Bezos might be an owner soon.
Yeah, we'll take your money. We'll absolutely take your money, but when we do not want you having football games. Like
they're the front runner for the ticket next year. So holy crap.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna go around the horn. Mike, who you got in this game?
So this game, I think, is going to be a bit of an overcorrection from the last game. I think the Falcons are going to come out and not necessarily dominate, but they're going to win it soundly. I think the last game, even though this game is in Carolina, I think the Falcons took that last game. They have a blueprint now. The QB situation in the Panthers is a mess. I got the Falcons.
Jacob?
I'm going Falcons. I think this is going to be a fair.
I think Amazon is praying for another game like last week between the Pats and the Falcons.
Oh yeah, if they get, they're just like, please make this.
That was the wildest game of the season so far.
Yeah.
I mean,
and
I think this is going to be a bit of a cakewalk for the Falcons.
I'm thinking who gives a fuck about this game. It'll be the Falcons that wins this game for sure.
Now, going into this
NBA
week,
games on that day.
You're right, yeah.
But no, we took this guy not the players though. Name I'm throwing at you guys: Drake London, stunks or not stunks?
not stunks.
I got one not stunks.
Yeah, I'm gonna say not stunks.
It's gonna be the run game.
Drake
it's gonna be the run
London,
game of the
not
Falcons.
I agree.
So is conversely, is Cordero Patterson stunks?
I'm gonna one up that. I'm gonna say yes to Patterson and also to Algier. I think they both are gonna put up big games.
So Algier and Patterson stunks. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good one. All right. Up next, we got the Seahawks versus the Buccaneers. And not only that, this is a very special occasion for the NFL. It is our very first Germany Bowl. Couldn't find the Nazi March theme. Decided that I was going to.
Thank you for not playing the Nazi March theme.
Do you guys remember 10 weeks ago when this got when this got announced and everyone was like, "Oh man, Seahawks are going to get destroyed." Oh,
we saw like, "Oh, this is gonna be a massacre." It still might be, just not in the direction we think.
Yeah, it might be.
All right, what you got, Jacob?
See, I'm gonna say the Bucks and the reason I'm gonna say it is I think maybe they unlocked something in that Rams game. I think like they may have finally gone hey, let's just play no huddle the entire game instead of actually trying coming up with plays. Let's just basically play no huddle because it works when we do that.
Tom Brady lost about 80 pounds of dead weight, and now he's unlocked elite talent.
No, I think. Look, I think there was a lot of stress going on in his personal life. It's now.
Oh, you
over.
Don't say.
No, but that's what. But it's now over.
I wonder what the cause of that was.
Yeah, but I'm actually genuinely terrified that the Bucks could end up making the Super Bowl this year. They are going and I didn't say that in the Rams.
I would hate it, but I think it'd be kind of hilarious if Tom Brady after getting divorced doesn't lose a game.
No, okay. So here is what his potential path looks like. He's going to get the 4th seed. So that means he is either playing Daniel Jones or Geno Smith or Jimmy Garoppolo in his first game, most likely. Next game is going to then be the 4th seed. Then he would then most likely playing the Eagles.
Yeah.
Or if the Cowboys or someone beats the Vikings, then or another team, a wild card gets in, he's playing either the Vikings or the Sea Eagles. Like there is a legitimate chance all 3 of his games leading to the Super Bowl are against quarterbacks who have never played in a playoff game.
That's true.
All right, so you got Bucks. Haas, what you got?
I'm going Bucks. Yeah.
This is just a flex for the sake of flexing, but also a funny story because I went to Munich at the end of September and went to Oktoberfest in Munich. Nice. And tried to talk football with a local who wanted nothing to do with fucking NFL football. That's not football in Germany. So I'm curious to see crowd-wise, these like London games, these like Germany, Munich games. My brother played football in Germany for 2 years. And football, like American football in Germany. And American football in Germany at that point in time, the Americans used to have to wear A's on their chest. And you were only allowed a certain amount of Americans on the field at one point in time.
Really?
So it was like, is the A a target? He's like, oh fuck yeah, it is. he's like, and the Germans are terrible. So
I could make a really bad taste joke. I'm not going to do it, Adam.
I don't. It's tough. Damn it. At the beginning part of this segment, before Jacob spoke so eloquently, I was firmly going to be like, okay, it's the fucking Seahawks are going to steamroll the Buccaneers. However, damn it, he's got some good points. I'm going to stick with my pick with the Seahawks, but not by much.
All right, Mike, what you got?
So right now, I'm going to go with experience. I'm going to go with the Bucks. The Seahawks are traveling over way more time zones. First things first. So that's going to be a big factor in this game. And for whatever reason, whenever Tom Brady is at his most backed up, he seems to always come back and punch you in the face. I don't think it's going to be a massive win, but I got the Bucks.
Yeah, I'm leaning Seahawks. I mean, I don't want the Bucks to win because fuck Tom Brady. That's why. But that is bias speaking here. But it would have shocked me if the Bucks won. But I'm pulling for the Seahawks because I'm also going with that they've been playing a lot better, significantly better than the Bucks have in the past couple of weeks, which is something I never thought I'd say.
Right.
Up next, this is a game that could have massive implications for the rest of the season and the postseason. Got the Vikings versus the. Oh, I forgot to do this for this game. And I'm gonna throw out there. DK Metcalf, stunks or not stunks?
Stunks.
Yeah, I think I agree. Stunks.
Stunks.
I will never bet against DK Metcalf again because I'm still paying for that stupid comment that I made at the start of the season. So from now on, I am just DK Metcalf's biggest fan, and because then the original comment either, hey, I was wrong and here is my pound of flesh, or it was my original comment was right, and yeah.
All right, next game we got. This game has an application for the future. At the Vikings versus the Bills.
Yeah.
This game comes down.
Terrified of this game.
This game comes down to, is Josh Allen active? First things first.
Yeah. First things first.
If Josh Allen is active.
So let's go on the assumption that I'm going to go to Haas first. So yeah, you give your prediction like whether or not Josh Allen is active or not. Let's go. Go ahead, Haas.
Okay. Josh Allen active, Bills win this game. Josh Allen not active, Vikings win the game.
Okay, so it's completely dependent on Josh Allen.
I think so.
Yeah, I agree reluctantly, but I also think I really think this is going to come down to a last minute play, and I don't know if Allen's going to get the last minute play that he needs to. So I am going to say the Bills with absolutely zero belief. And I'm just hoping and praying. Because the Vikings were my underdog team this year. The Vikings were my sneaky team that I thought could make the Super Bowl because I think they're a very sneakily good team. I just don't believe in Kirk Cousins. However, this is a 1 p.m. game. So yes, apparently Kirk Cousins is going to win.
We're getting MVP Kirk Cousins at this time. It's tough. I think it's dependent on Josh Allen for me. I'm leaning the Bills. Yeah, same with Haas. If he plays, Bills. If not, Vikings. Mike.
It's cliche right now. I agree with everybody that it's going to be the Josh Allen factor. However, what I will say is, should the Bills have to revert to Case Keenum? It is a revenge game.
That is true. So, it is on two fronts because Stephon Diggs is there too. Although Stephon Diggs they began to revenge Stephon Diggs because he wanted out. They didn't kick him out.
So I actually
imagine we got the Minneapolis Miracle but in reverse.
I'm gonna go Bills by 10 if Allen plays. Bills by 3 if he doesn't.
So you got Bills no matter what.
Yeah.
All right. So what I'm gonna throw at you guys. Since again, the passing attack of the Bills is going to be dependent on whether or not Josh Allen plays. But given the fact that Tre'Davious White might be active for this game,
yeah,
Justin Jefferson, stunks or not stunks?
Stunks.
Got one stunks.
Not stunks.
Yeah. I'm going to go stunks purely based on the fact that it's Justin Jefferson and he can catch anything. He's not going to get a lot of yards after the catch. But if it's in the end zone, he's going to get it.
By virtue of tiebreakers, stunks.
Ooh,
Right.
5.5. I got 5.5 points.
Ooh.
That's Matt. Oh, I would have to go. I would definitely go Vikings with 5.5 points. It's going to be a lot.
I think I kind of agree with you in especially with the uncertainty. Like I said, I think if Allen does play, it'll be more than that. But with the uncertainty and him maybe not practicing, the 5.5, the Vikings is actually not a bad bet.
It's not.
With the points, yeah.
Up next, we got NFC North football, Lions versus Bears.
This could be fun. This could be fun.
This could actually be a really fun game.
Yeah.
This could usually be one of those games where both teams are like, you are both terrible, but you're so fun to watch.
All right,
I agree. Like
I'm
this
gonna
could
go first
be
on this one.
so many points in this game.
I'm gonna go riding off a high of beating your old bully. I'm taking the Lions on this one.
Wow.
I think they're gonna be riding high. This is gonna. I don't know. I don't think I call them upset of the week, but I am taking the Lions.
I'm going to go the opposite. I'm going to go the Bears because for the opposite reason. I think the Lions just won their Super Bowl. They're going to be hungover as fuck.
It's fair.
They're like, we beat the Packers. We beat
Bears?
the Packers. We're done.
But the Bears are going to put up 250 on the ground between Fields, Herbert, and Montgomery. The Bears are going to have 4 rushing touchdowns between the 3 of them. They are going to win this game.
Awesome.
Yeah, Bears are going to win this game.
Okay, I'm the only one riding with Motor City Dan Campbell. But so I think I'm going to hear all answered. But Justin Fields, this game. Haas jumping jacks.
Oh,
Justin Fields.
Justin
this game
Fields stunks.
Stunks. All around stunks.
Yep.
Next game we're going to be looking at, we have the Broncos versus the Titans. This could get very ugly very fast.
Give me that upset Titans defense attacking Russell Wilson. Give me the Titans in a low-scoring game.
Yeah, this thing's going to probably be like 8-9. Like, this thing's gonna have no fucking score at all. Like, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if there's not a single touchdown scored if this is all field goals. Like, this
Really?
game, because the Broncos have, I think, the best defense in football. I love the Broncos defense. It is scary how good, and it's just making me really hate Russell Wilson even more because that team, like that defense is Super Bowl caliber, and he is blowing it. Absolutely blowing it.
Broncos country, let's do this.
So like I am gonna say Broncos because like I love that defense so much, and I don't see I can't see Malik Willis scoring more points. I really can't.
Get either one of these defenses in fantasy if you can.
Absolutely.
Yes.
If you can get Broncos or Titans defense in fantasy, take it.
Yeah.
Because I think this is going to be a really, really low scoring game. Yeah, I really like that line of -2.5 for Titans. Like,
All right, what you got, Haas?
You know what? I'm going to go to the Titans. I think the edge is going to be the fact that you have a Derrick Henry out there.
Also, I didn't mention this. The home field and the Broncos going to East Coast
Tennessee.
game is gonna affect them.
I'm going. It's off a bye, so
I'll give you that.
They won in London. They're off a bye. Like, yeah, I get no freaking belief in this though because I don't trust Russell Wilson right now.
Terrible game. Terrible.
Yeah.
This will be the worst.
Anything coming off the buyers, you're going to say Russell Wilson, not stunks.
Not
Oh,
stunts.
no. Oh God, not stunks. Oh God, no.
Not stunks. Not stunks at all. All right, fair enough. Moving on to our next game. Got Jaguars versus Chiefs.
Oh boy.
Let's go, Jags.
Oh man. Oh,
I mean, is anybody taking the Jaguars?
No.
No.
I didn't think so. Okay, but so I will throw out a name for you guys. Given that he's got more time to learn the playbook, got more time on the team. In this game, Kadarius Toney. Stunks or not stunks?
I'm going to say not, for the pure reason that Kansas City is going to establish a lead so early that they're not going to need him.
Yep, that stunks.
I'm saying stunks because he's their number one wide receiver. I think.
Okay, so I got one stunks, but by majority rule, he is not.
Yeah,
stunks.
no, that's fair. I just think also, man, I hate saying this. Kansas City are being disrespected. 9.5 points. How is this not double digits? Like,
Yeah, really?
It's not double digits.
I think ETN is going to run for about 100 and maybe one touchdown, but that's it. That's all that Jacksonville is going to put up.
Yeah.
All right. Up next, we got a game that would be vastly different. Or sorry, a game that would be vastly different if a certain someone was playing, but they're not. We had the Browns versus the Dolphins.
Yeah, this is Dolphins, and I'm not.
Is anybody taking the Browns? I'm just gonna say, anybody taking the Browns? Didn't think so.
I think okay. I will say I think this is gonna be closer than you think. I think this will be a closer game, but I'm taking the Dolphins.
Dolphins by about 7. I got.
Now coming to this game, he's doing pretty well on the Browns so far. Actually, I'll throw 2 at you. First of which is Amari Cooper.
I like him. I like him in this game, actually. I think they're going to have to throw a lot. I do like him to put up some yards and at least one touchdown. Yeah.
So I have 1 stunks. What about Haas, Jacob?
I'm going to say stonks just because I do think the Browns are going to make this game close, and I think that's how they're going to have to do it. Again, I don't love Tua as a quarterback. So I just think he's on a very, very talented team. But I also don't love what's his name is the Browns quarterback right now.
Brissett.
Yeah. So,
I actually think the Dolphins are going to go up quite a bit, and it's going to require the Browns to throw to try to get back some of these scores. So, yeah, I believe Amari is going to go stunks.
Now, the other one I thought I'd do for this particular game, Nick Chubb.
See, this is where I think Chubb's going to score. I don't love their run defense.
That's what exactly.
All right, so we're stonks on Cooper, and we're stonks on Chubb.
Yeah. For stats, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
I think a lot of them will be empty calories.
Up next, we got the tank rolls on. Texans versus Giants.
This is not a tank bowl because the Giants
for Houston. The tank rolls on for Houston. Not like they used to be in the tanks. Now they're not in the tanks anymore.
Why do I have a feel? I just have
this feels like a trap game.
I have a really bad gut feel that this is going to be the game that exposes the Giants as, oh, hey, actually, we're not that good. Like,
does anybody want to roll with Houston?
So I'm all right. I will. I'm gonna roll with Houston. I'm gonna roll with Houston.
All right, we got one more Houston. Haas, Mike.
No, it's gonna be the Giants.
That's fair.
I gotta stick with the
Let's
Giants.
go Dameon Pierce for 120 and a TD.
That is valid. I do think, though, I haven't looked. What's the spread? I think that the Texans cover. I think the Giants win.
Oh, absolutely.
I think the Giants win, but the Texans cover.
Oh, I would take that 6.5. Thank you very much. Yeah, no, like I said, look, the Giants have won every single one of their games on the last play. At some point, this luck's going to run out. And
yeah, I agree.
Is it against Houston? Is it against Lovey Claus in Houston, though?
And that is a fair point. Like, again, but I just think it might be Houston. Like, they come in after a bye. I really hate when teams play bad teams after a bye because you come in and you're like, oh, we don't care. Like, it's harder to get up for training. Like, you want to be playing a good team after a bye because you can come in and like, all right, we've got to get this. And the bye week's kind of everyone thinking, oh, we've got to beat this team. I don't like coming in playing a bad team after a bye. And I just think that they're playing a bad team after a bye and it's very easy to get complacent. Just ask Chance with the Steelers.
Take Houston with the points and the Giants to win.
That's like 3 times tonight. Just poking the bear.
Hey, the Bills lost. I'm in a mood.
This particular game. Damian Pierce, stonks or not stonks?
Oh, 100% stonks.
Stonks.
Love him.
Stonks. All right, next game. Well, speaking of my boys coming off a bye, going to face the New Orleans Saints. And remember I said earlier, take Andy Dalton out, put Jameson. Keep Andy Dalton in just for this game. Imagine next week. Keep Andy Dalton there just for now.
I think they're going to play Andy Dalton. I do.
I hope so.
Think they are. I think they are too. And
I think they've
they're
completely lost faith in Jameis. So I absolutely expect to see the Red Rocket out there against your boys, and because of that, I'm picking the Steelers.
I'm going with Saints. I think Saints.
I'm also going with Saints, but a close game, also a low-scoring game.
Again, here is the problem: Steelers off a bye, playing a bad team. It's a Mike Tomlin coach team. They play down to their competition all the time. If they were playing a good team after a bye, I would 100% pick the Steelers. But they're not. They're playing a bad team, and they play down to their competition. They're going to lose this game.
But
Steelers going to Super Bowl.
Steelers are going to Super Bowl. But here's what I'm going to say.
Playoffs.
Shut up. I'm talking now. It's my team. I'm talking.
They're going to Arby's to watch the Sunday playoffs.
Look, we're 2-6 right now. We're in the weeks. We're in the gutter right now. We need to step up. If we're gonna go to Super Bowl, we need to step up. We need to start winning things right now, and it starts right here. We had the bye week. We got a chance, work on that offense, work on that defense a little more, shore it up. And we're facing against the Saints. Ain't nothing special. They've been exposed time and time again by lesser teams than us. Yeah, they're supposed to be a team with less talent than us. And our Lord and Savior, TJ Watt, is returning this week. He's going to bless our defense.
Jeez, I didn't know that. Shit.
And we are going to be elites once again. Steelers by 5 touchdowns, and we go to Super Bowl.
Okay, I would like to take that bet.
I didn't know TJ Watt was back. Crap. I'm still picking the Saints, but
I don't care if we got to deal with Matt Canada.
Take the under. Take the under.
Is
Steelers?
Okay. Can I?
This is the beginning of our ascent to greatness and the Super Bowl.
Can I ask if
Yes.
they lose this game? Like, what do you think the future of the Steelers is if they lose this game?
If we do lose this game, which we're not going to do, if we do lose this game, I can tell you right now, the thing we need to do, which is fire Canada, we're not going to do because we should have done that already. Hey, Frank Reich, you want to come be the OC of the Pittsburgh Steelers?
I honestly, I think Frank Reich's going to have several offers as OC. I think Frank Reich's going to have several of them. I'll be genuinely shocked. Also, I really think you're about to lose your Brian Flores as your defense. He'll get a defensive coordinator job somewhere. Especially after this year, he'll definitely get one.
I agree.
Probably. I would love it if he stayed, but he's probably going to be not around after the season. It's just take Canada with you. I don't care. I don't understand. Like, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, get rid of Canada. Okay, we got rid of the Canadians. Not what we meant. But yes, I am taking Pittsburgh. Of course, taking Pittsburgh. Come on, stop playing. Up next, we have the Jeff Saturday-led Colts versus the Raiders. You know what?
Not a more perfect game for this. There seriously was not a more perfect game for this weekend for McDaniels to be playing the Colts. Like, absolutely. It was not. It couldn't have been more perfect for this weekend.
Unless Reich was still here.
Yeah, no, I think it's even funnier. I think it's even funnier if the Colts win against McDaniels with fucking Jeff Saturday as their coach. My God, McDaniels deserves to be fired then and there. He won't, but he deserves it.
If the Raiders lose this game, McDaniels should be fired on the spot. Like, no, real talk. He should be fired on the spot.
He should. Is it in LA or is it in?
It's in
Vegas.
It's in
Vegas.
Vegas.
It's in Vegas.
It's in Vegas.
Yeah. Okay. I was gonna say he should not even get on the plane, but he should be banned from the hotel. Oh my God, there's 6.5 points. Jeez, I'd be taking that 6.5 points.
Yeah. I got the Raiders. Easy.
I've got the Raiders winning, but this is going to be a close game. This is not going to be a blowout. This is going to be close.
Mike.
This is one of those games where, like, if I was really, really drunk, I would enjoy this game. Right? This is like you've been you started your drinking at 10 a.m. and you went through like the 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. like slot of games, and you were just hammered by the time this game plays. And then you're just like, I remember when Devontae was good. Like, that's just kind of this game. Like, it's a shit game. The Raiders absolutely are going to win this game, but I'm kind of rooting for what Jacob's saying here. I kind of hope that the Raiders lose and we get to see another head coach firing.
And I will sit there and be like, "Yay, that's the third head coach fired, and it wasn't freaking Cliff."
Mike, what you got?
I'm 100% rooting for chaos right now. Rooting for the Colts. I got the Raiders running away with this.
Yeah, as they probably should. Now,
they should. I just don't trust them. I don't think they will.
I did not ask on the last game because everybody on the Steelers is stunks. I know that. I don't need to ask you. For this game, every single person on the Steelers is stunks. Every one of them.
Everyone.
Is Jonathan Taylor stunks or not stunks?
Not stunks.
Not stunks. Wow. Unanimous not stunks.
You need an O-line, and they don't have one. Like, a running back needs an O-line. They have
Jonathan Taylor will milk that injury the rest of the season to not have to fucking play for the Colts right now. It's that bad.
Oh, Max Crosby and Chandler Jones are going to feast in this game. Oh, my God.
Agreed.
Next game, we got Cowboys versus Packers. Packers are on a 5-game losing streak. Given the way they're playing that streak, I hate saying this because I think it's going to continue. I fucking hate the Cowboys, but I think they're going to win this game. Mike, what you got?
Micah Parsons is going to have 3 sacks. I do think that Tony Pollard is going to run wild in this game. I think CeeDee Lamb will have at least 1 touchdown. I got the Cowboys by 2 scores.
I don't like. I think Mike might get 1 because if Bakhtiari wasn't back, I'd be inclined. But Bakhtiari, if there's someone I trust to handle Micah Parsons, David Bakhtiari. Haas, what you got?
It's tough. I think Green Bay's at home in this game.
It is Lambeau.
And yeah, I mean, look, as much as we all enjoy seeing Aaron Rodgers be humiliated at the end of the day, the dude is still Aaron Rodgers.
I don't enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that there's a very strong possibility that this is a rebound game for Aaron Rodgers, but ultimately, I think that there's just more weapons on the Cowboys. The Cowboys are stacked right now offensively. Yeah, fuck it, I'm gonna go Cowboys.
All right, and Jacob.
There is far too much optimism in Dallas right now.
Yeah, I agree.
This has the makings of a old-fashioned, genuine, bona fide, the fuck are you doing, Cowboys loss. And I think it's coming. I really think this is going to be the game that the Packers win, and we all go, what the hell were you doing, Packers? Yeah, it's Cowboys, because they do it all the time, where everything is saying you will win this game. I was trying to see what the line is at the moment. The line is currently 5.5. Like, everyone's saying that the Cowboys will win. Everyone's writing off the Packers. And I just have a feeling this is the game. This is the one where afterwards we go, how did the Cowboys lose this? How did they blow it? And how was this the one that, I think Packers win, and I think they could win bad. Like, this could be a big win. And we're all going, what the hell?
I like the boldness of this.
Like, Lazard puts up 150 with 2 TDs.
Sorry, this is the type of game where I just look at it and go, every man and their dog is going to be saying Cowboys. There is not going to be one person saying Packers. as much shit as I give him, Rodgers is too talented to to keep doing this. I really do think they're going to run the ball. The Cowboys' rush defense has been terrible. Like, as good as that defense is, rushing is possible on them. This just feels like, hey, we Packers are going to win this game, and we're all afterwards going to be like, again, it's the season of chaos. This feels like the chaos game. This just feels like
I'll give you that.
So, then I'm throwing out for you guys. Aaron Jones, stunks or not stunks?
Stunks. I really think Aaron Jones is going to have a absolute stunner. And I'm not just saying that because I have him on fantasy.
All right, I have one stunks, one not stunks. I'll get 2 not stunks. So not stunks on Aaron Jones.
If I am right, I'm coming back on next week. I'm fair warning you right now.
Jacob, you pretty much should be the third host at this point. So
we could talk about that. Up next, Haas, your boys are back up. Cardinals versus Rams.
Haas, enjoy this win because I think it's going to be your last one of the season because
I do too. Yeah. Sorry. I mean, look. We're not great, but we can beat the Cards.
Yeah.
The Rams.
Cardinals had a glimmer of hope, and now they're like, no, you suck again. Like, we're done. Jeez, oh, God.
Yeah, it's the Rams.
The Rams can look good in this game. They're actually
It's going to be the Rams.
Yeah.
And Cooper Kupp's going to run wild, 100%. I think Higbee could get 2 touchdowns.
Wow.
Yeah, it's Arizona. Now, for this game, then I'm going to throw at you guys. DeAndre Hopkins.
I like him. Him in this game.
We got 2 stunks and 1. We got 1 stunk and 2 not stunks. So not stunks. I mean, I actually do trust him. If there's anybody I trust to go up against Jalen Ramsey, it's DeAndre Hopkins.
That I'll agree with.
Absolutely.
With that because Jalen Ramsey has been terrible this year, and like the height of, hey, I'm going to go attack the offense, even though I was the problem at the end of that game was just insane. But like, I don't trust him at the moment because I don't trust Kyler. I think Kyler is going to either under or overthrow him plenty of times. I think he's going to get sacked like all hell. This is a bad football team. The Cardinals are a bad team. And yeah.
Sunday Night Football. Oh, sorry, you went something like that?
Oh, no, I was just going to say, if it was someone other than Kyler Murray throwing him the ball, then I would absolutely say that he'd be stunks. But yeah, I don't think he's going to do much this week. And I think we will see some further escalation between the two on the sidelines. Hopefully.
Sunday Night Football. We have the Chargers, by proxy, Jacob's team, versus the 49ers. So I'm going to say, like, so who are you taking? Go you, Haas, first.
I'm going to take the Niners. There's a lot of talent on that team. The Chargers are so banged up. Again, you have a healthy Chargers team against the Niners. It's a totally different story, but it's not. And the Niners are, as well, they have their injuries of their own. Like, they still have so much component. And dude, McCaffrey, his first game with the Niners, they pushed. I mean, it was a statement that McCaffrey was going to be a staple of that offense. Every run play was to him. The dude caught like 10 passes out of the backfield. Like, that's a defining edge. I mean, the dude is healthy for the first time in like ever, and
on a good team.
So yeah, I would have liked to have seen these two teams play like healthy in their primes, but at this point in time, I think the Niners are going to roast the Chargers.
All right, Mike, what you got?
Yeah, I'm going to agree with this. I think the Niners have this. I think you're going to see very big stat lines from both running backs, from McCaffrey and from Eckler. Both of them are going to get the ball a lot. Both of them are going to hit the ball in the passing game a lot. But what it's going to come down to is the talent elsewhere. And that, of course, is going to be George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, and Deebo Samuel. And I think the Niners have a better defense than the Chargers. So, yeah, give me the Niners.
Jacob?
I'm going to go 49ers. And I'm going to be murdered later tonight. So that's fun.
I see the red dot in your forehead.
Yeah.
You got a hitman already?
That's coming. So, no, I'm going to go the 49ers. I think that the Chargers are just too banged up. They're like, if they can pull off the miracle win, it will be huge for their season, because if they can pull off the miracle win on this game, they can make the playoffs. They lose this, their playoff chances are starting to dwindle. So, which sucks, because again, Herbert's going to go into a contract year, and he won't have made the playoffs. It's his third year. So
the AFC East is just playing too good right now for the Chargers to falter.
Yeah. So I don't know how they can beat this 49ers team given the injuries. If they were a healthy roster, I think they destroy them. With a healthy roster, I think they're a better team. But
Allen and Williams, they win this game.
Yeah. If they have one of them, I think they win this game.
Yes.
Like, if one of them comes back this weekend, I think they can win this game. But they've lost both of them, and it's such an uphill battle. I think you take the two wide receivers out of any team, and they're not winning against good teams. They just can't. It's just nearly impossible.
And then name I'm gonna throw at you guys. Debo Samuel.
Love
Stunks or not Stunks?
Yeah.
Stonks.
Yeah, Stonks.
Yep.
He's gonna have a big one.
Huge game. Game.
All right. And last game we're talking about, it's the Carson Wentz revenge game, which is ironic because he might even be playing. You got the Commies versus the Eagles, this time in Philadelphia.
I can't believe he's not even going to be like. Do you remember at the start of the season there was people making jokes? Oh, he might not even be the starter by the time that this game happens. He won't. He's not. Game. Like, he won't play the revenge game in Philadelphia. Like, they're going to get destroyed. They absolutely get destroyed, and Eagles are winning this game.
I don't want to roll with the Commies. I don't want to bleed red.
I will say this.
No.
The Commies will put up as much of a fight as they can. They'll put points on the board, but they're going to lose by at least 2 scores.
All right,
Give me Terry McLaurin for 150 and a TD.
Well, that's what I was about to ask. I was going to throw out there. Terry McLaurin. Stonks.
I love Terry.
Stonks. I love Terry.
I love Terry.
Really? Against this secondary, you're all saying Stonks.
Yeah. It's
going to be the only offensive yards Washington's going to put up. It's going to be him. So.
Here is the one possibility Washington wins. The Eagles are on a bye next week. Everyone's kind of mentally checked out.
Look past the game, sure.
Yeah. That's. Oh wait, no, sorry, they're not on a bye next week.
Yeah, no, they already had their bye.
They've passed their bye.
Oh, they did too. Fuck. Sorry.
Then Washington. There's no chance Washington.
Yeah, no. Okay, Washington don't have a chance. Okay, they're done.
All right, then.
Yeah, this is Eagles all the way.
Yeah.
Well, that brings us to the end of the show. I want to thank our guests for joining us. Haas, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Big Moose Haas. Thank you guys so much for having me on, man. I'm glad I got to do this with Jacob too, man. Jesus Christ, you are so freaking elegant when it comes to speaking about this. There's been 10 times during like the point in which you're speaking that I'm like, fuck, I just changed my opinion. But no, thank you guys both for having me on. This was great.
Of course, man. Thanks for coming on. Jacob, people know where to find you, but just in case you need a reminder, where can people find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter and Letterboxd down and at Jacob London. I have a new podcast launching this week called Lights on a Screen, where we're going to be covering. This week we're covering the Brisbane Film Festival that just happened here, and I got to see a lot of really great movies: Tar, Bones and All, Triangle of Sadness, and what was the other one I really loved? Oh, Banshees. We're going to be talking all about those, and
nice.
And then Black Panther next week.
Yeah.
All right, Mike, where can we find you, man?
Every week here on Tuesday nights on Left Side Strong Side, and every Wednesday night you can find me on What the Show podcast. This week we're going to be discussing, because all of us found out that the guy from Moonfall was in Marry Me, so we watched Marry Me, so that's going to be the central topic of discussion. So
Yeah.
Yes,
I like how he's the guy from Moonfall and not
Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And yeah,
that's how What the Show rolls. But yeah.
Dude, your guys' obsession with that movie is so baffling to me.
Yeah,
I love it. I dig it.
I got so many texts of what the fuck is this?
Anyways, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Chance_91. Check my podcast, Toys by Chance. Our episode on Ghostbusters just dropped that we did with Late to the Party. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, Haas. We did do Ghostbusters Late to the Party. I will call you for one of the sequels, I promise. But yes, that was it was a great show. They had Sarah on you, Haas. I'm sorry. It was a great show. I would really recommend checking it out wherever podcasts are found. And I'm here every Tuesday on the PG Cam One Network, Left Side, Strong Side. Thank you for listening, and we will see you next time.
Holy shit.